My mother refuses to come to my wedding because it wasn't in a church.
It's in a church or it's not a wedding.
In December, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic pancreatic.
Oh.
In this time, he has dropped significant weight and is undergoing chemo. I'm so sorry. My fiance, 27 male, and I, 27 female, have been engaged since July, together 11 years total. Wow. We had tossed around the idea of getting married sooner rather than later because I want my dad at the wedding. This past week, we decided that since it is our 11-year anniversary and my dad's sister is in town, one of his only remaining living family members that he's close with, we could get married this upcoming Saturday. It's actually perfect because my fiance's mom is a marriage commissioner and had agreed to do it at her house. Also, we have a makeup artist and 2 event planners in the family, both that we're very close with, who are more than pumped for this.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
that is so awesome.
The whole family's coming together. It's great. By the way, this comes from a Shotgun Wedding Throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the wedding would be small, about 20 people, and barely any costs. No venue to pay for and book, hardly any food costs, homemade beef on a bun and veggie trays, etc. I haven't asked my mom, 57 female, for a dime, but she's refusing to come. She said that not getting married in a church is a mockery to actual weddings. She said it's immature and any other insult she could think of. When I asked my grandma if they would come, my grandma cried and said that she's worried about my soul because I won't make it to heaven, but that she would think about coming. So that's where my mom got it from. On one hand, I'm worried that my mom won't allow my dad to come. He just finished his first cycle of chemo, so he would need a ride. He also said that while he doesn't agree with our decision, he will definitely walk me down the aisle. My question, how do I navigate this? Am I being an a-hole for rushing this out of fear of my dad passing away? He's starting to turn yellow, meaning that his is spreading to his liver. Ugh. Any help would be appreciated. And there are some comments. Comment number 1 says, your dad will not be at your wedding if you wait. Pancreatic is not a recoverable condition. Especially stage 4. Stage 4 too. Like, yeah.
You gotta get it rolling.
Right.
Undertaker wedding's happening.
Try to explain this to your mother in a heartfelt way. Tell her she can invite her preacher. See if he will officiate if that's an option. You can try to compromise some to accommodate her, but in the end, roll up and get your dad and do the thing. Good luck. You won't regret making this type of life decision on your own terms. OP responds, he has heard of others recovering from cancer, so he thinks that he will be cured. My parents also think that he will have enough time for us to plan a summer wedding. She is not an understanding person. There is really no reasoning with her at all, unfortunately. Comment number 2 says, I lost my mom to very recently. We considered getting married so she could be present, but she had a similarly fast-moving so we never got the chance. If you let your mother ruin this chance for you, you are likely to regret it and resent her for the rest of your life. I wish I'd pushed the issue more while my mom was still well enough. Comment number 3 says, does she think that the sight of God doesn't extend outside of the church? LOL. In 2017, only 22% of weddings took place in a church. Sorry, Mom, you can get with the times. And we do have an update, but what are your thoughts on all this? What do you think they should do?
Definitely have the wedding so your dad can be there.
Yeah.
And if your mom tries to stop him, get your favorite cousins together and go retrieve your dad to be there at your wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm going to be
Exactly.
doing.
I would get into a car in my white dress if I needed to. Pack all that puffy dress into a taxi or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to sit down with his mom and just question her line of thinking, saying like, okay, like, were churches always around? So you're telling me that every single person that got married not inside of a church is going to the bad place? Really? Okay. And then start naming off people that are in the bad place just to kind of understand her line of thinking. Like, what? And like, Fran, isn't mom's condemnation of you a sin? Yeah, that's one thing. And then I thought you were going to say this. How could she not critically think to the point, oh, my husband's he's going to see his beautiful daughter get married.
Yeah.
Where's that?
But we do have an update. So I went and spoke to my dad about the wedding last Wednesday. He wasn't pumped about the idea, but said that he will walk me down the aisle. He said that this is happening too fast, but that he loves both me and my fiance very much and knows that we're meant to be together. He said that he wants to have a sit-down discussion with the both of us to discuss marriage values. On Thursday, my mother spent the day texting me about how I'm a horrible child that will do anything to hurt her. Oh my gosh. She then started texting my mother-in-law about how none of her family will attend the wedding and that even so, my dad's too sick. So ironic. My fiance and I had made the decision to go ahead with the wedding, and so on Friday, we went to my dad's to have the talk with him. He started off repeating everything that my mother has said, and that this is a mockery of a real wedding, etc. He kept going on about Catholicism and began being very disrespectful to my fiance while he shouted at us. He said that we were being disrespectful to his passed away parents. I tried to get off the topic of religion and make a final plea regarding my dad's condition and that he needs to see where we are coming from. We want to give him the opportunity to walk me down the aisle. This pissed him off even more, and he shouted, "Then watch me pass away," in our faces. Yikes,
The dad's saying
dude.
this?
The dad is saying this. He's mad about this now. At first, he
Oh,
wasn't. He was like, "Well,
wow.
it's disappointing, but I'll still walk you down the aisle." And now he's like, "It's over my body, literally."
I may should have seen this coming because the wife was saying this is gonna downhill on this.
Yeah, it's gonna spread.
It's yeah, or the already thinking it because that's kind of how they roll.
Yeah.
And it sucks that you were like, oh, you're about to pass away. Let me honor you.
Yeah, and he's like, I F you all right now.
Yeah, dude.
What?
Dang.
What?
At
Like,
this,
okay, then I don't want you at my wedding, I guess.
it's like
Yeah.
At this point, we left and went to my sister's. She was heartbroken that my parents were acting this way. She also had spoken with her priest. She's quite religious as well. And he said that there is no reason for my parents to not support this decision and that there is not enough time to go through the marriage prep for a church wedding that my dad could attend. She also said that for her wedding, she had constant issues with my mom, but it was spread out over the course of a year. And with my dad, he screamed at her the night before her wedding because of the video. On Saturday, my mom texted me in the morning that she hopes we will honor their values one day. That was all. Then my fiance became my husband. Lots of family on the fiance's side and friends helped with everything throughout the day. My sister did so many incredible things and I can never thank her enough. My brother ended up walking me down the aisle. And my dad's sister, who's leaving today, attended as well. My parents did not show up. The funny thing is, my auntie, my dad's sister, is Jehovah's Witness and was married by a justice of peace. My dad's mother, who is very religious and who he had thrown in my face about disrespecting, attended and supported that wedding. We drove 2 provinces away to help set up for the wedding. So anyways, my fiance is now my husband. We had a really magical day
Nice.
surrounded by so much love and support.
Yeah.
I guess I will never get the chance to have my dad walk me down the aisle and have my parents support our decision.
Oh, dude.
Now I have to evaluate whether or not I will still take compassionate care leave in February to help with my dad's care as his health declines. I already had all the paperwork completed and my boss is notified. I doubt he will want me to. And there is a second update, but yikes, dude. That sucks.
Yeah. It sucks that you moved your wedding so you can honor your dad and he just throws it in your face. And now you have to think, oh, do I want to take care of him as his health is declining? Or do I
Yeah.
take this serious and kind of keep my peace? And
Right.
he basically doesn't honor your marriage.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I was wondering if they got that person that is a priest that's like the sister's friend or husband or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they got that person who was like, yeah, no, this is chill. Like, oh, I'm a priest and like, it's God's chill with it, you know? Like, I wish he went over to the parents' house and was like, hey guys, just want to like let you know from like God to me to you, it's good, guys. Like, they're good.
From God to me to you.
Yeah,
they're
like
good.
they're cool.
Wow.
They're cool, dude. We do have a second update. We attended the anointing of the sick ceremony for my father a couple weeks ago. My husband thought it was important and I agreed. My family, except for my cousins, didn't really talk to us. But my dad made a point to speak with us, apologized to my husband for how we spoke to him, and tried to make amends. With my one auntie who has been playing a big role in my dad's life since his diagnosis because her dad went through the same type of cancer, gave me a hug and said, no hard feelings. I thought that was a bit out of line because I'm not too sure what she would have had hard feelings about. By the way, I hope you never have hard feelings about the fact that we have full episodes of more stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever your favorite podcast app is to find them and just search OK Storytime. That's how
Okay.
you find them on those places.
That's right.
That's right. There is a little bit more to the story. I think we should just roll right into it, shall we? Anyways, I haven't spoken to my dad as often as I had. My
Same.
mom came over yesterday because she wanted to tell us some things so that she can move on with her life.
Oh my gosh.
Her life. That
Here-
doesn't sound right.
Here's a bottomless pit. You could tell it to that.
Yeah.
Have
if
fun.
If just saying the words is going to help you, then don't say it to me.
Write on the letter. And then just.
Exactly. So she talked about how even if they wanted to come to our wedding, they couldn't because my dad was in too much pain, which was false. She also said that we could plan a church ceremony and that it would give my dad the opportunity to walk me down the aisle. I told her that is something that my husband and I would decide on privately. We spoke about it after and agreed that this is something that we would only do to make them happy, seeing as neither of us are religious. She also said that my dad has been very lonely since both my sister and I have barely contacted them since the wedding. Whose fault is that, my guy? Come on. I decided to take the month of March off work since I have a very stressful job, just to take some time to get into a good mind frame.
Dang, you can do that?
Not this job.
I think we all should be able to take a month off after this week.
We'll see how this goes. My question is, how do I move forward after my parents refuse to attend my wedding? I don't want my dad to leave this world on bad terms, but I also don't want to disregard their actions. And that is the end of that story.
I've waited 6 years for a proposal, and I can't wait anymore.
Wait 6 more years, I promise. It'll be there at 12.
Hi, everyone. I am just looking for honest advice, especially from women who have been in a long-term relationship and reached this point of what now? My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 6 years. Our anniversary is tomorrow, and I am starting to feel incredibly anxious. I am 31, turning 32 this year, and he is about to turn 29. We have had some big life shifts over the years. Not necessarily up and downs, but changes that have impacted where we are now. By the way, this comes from No Research 8672. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And OP says, last year, on our 5-year anniversary, he did acknowledge the day. He brought home some flowers and a card, but it was toward the evening. It did not feel personal or intentional. When I asked him why he did not really plan anything, he said that he felt it would be embarrassing to celebrate being a 5-year girlfriend. His words, not mine. He said he only wanted to celebrate with a proposal, that he did not want to go all out for an anniversary if it was not going to include that. But shortly after, I found out he had just been laid off from his job around the same time. A few weeks later, we moved out of the apartment we had been living in together for 3 years and moved back in with our parents separately with a plan to save money and move our life forward. That was a year ago. We have now both been at home for a year, and we have talked a lot about our future, marriage, kids, home ownership, all of it. And here's the part that is bothering me now. A few months ago in July, my dad happened to see him as he was arriving at my house. They spoke briefly, and my dad asked him in a respectful, non-pressuring way, "You've been around a long time. When are you planning to propose to my daughter?" My boyfriend told him confidently, before the end of next month, meaning before the end of August. My dad is usually chill and does not get into stuff like this, but he decided just to ask him. We are now at the end of August. Our anniversary is tomorrow, Friday, and August ends this Sunday. And I have not seen or heard anything that suggests he is actually planning to follow through. He has not mentioned a dinner reservation, no hints, no dress nice, no do not make plans, just regular daily interaction. And I've been intentionally avoiding dropping hints because I want the proposal to feel real and special, not like something I poked or pressured him into. This morning, I tested the waters and sent him a link to an art walk event happening this weekend in Destin, which is about 2 hours away from us. I framed it as something I was interested in doing. Did not mention proposals or anything like that. He replied enthusiastically and even said he could get us an Airbnb from Saturday through Monday so we can make a weekend of it. And while that might sound like initiative, it is making me feel uneasy. Because to me, that confirms he did not have any actual plans already in place. If he did, he would have had to decline or rework the weekend, not just say, "Yeah, let's go," and suggest a spontaneous trip. This has happened before. On Valentine's Day earlier this year, he said he had something special planned, and when I found out what it was tickets to Universal Studios and Disney World. A big gesture, sure, but what I really wanted was progress. The proposal, not just another trip or experience to distract me from what really matters to me. To be clear, he has told me recently that his savings are looking really good. That has stuck with me. If finances are in order and the relationship is steady, what is the holdup? I have already made up my mind that I will not accept a proposal that comes after September 1st, not because I am trying to give an ultimatum, but because it simply will not feel special anymore. It would feel late, like I had to wait him into it, and I cannot accept that. I am at a point in life where I want to build something, a home, a family, a future, and I cannot keep dragging my heart through these kinds of almost moments just to keep the peace. So I'm asking, am I being unreasonable? Would you wait past the deadline he set for himself, or would you take his inaction as the answer? We have some comments. Comment 1. You two have serious communication problems. You're not unreasonable for having a timeline, but you refuse to actually use your voice and talk to this long-term partner of yours that you want to permanently link your life with. It's not great that he didn't tell you that he got laid off right away, but it's also not great that you are sending him nudges and hints and hoping that he does an action you want instead of just using your voice and participating in moving your relationship forward. If you want him to do an anniversary celebration, have you tried telling him? Not everyone buys into the whole man must do something special for a woman on anniversaries. It's okay to ask for it. It's okay to tell him that you want to marry him before a certain deadline. You're acting like a passive spectator in your relationship, setting him up to fail with a silent deadline that you're not sharing with him. I mean, by all means, drop him if you want, but quietly fuming with resentment while not actually talking to him is not the way to have a healthy relationship, let alone a marriage.
Well, okay, I kind of disagree though with this notion
With what part?
because, well, it's just that like she didn't do this. He did this. He said, I'm going to propose by the end of the month. And so at that point, it's like, if you don't propose, I'm going to be like, so are you just never going to? Like,
I wonder though if, I mean, he's got to know that dad would tell OP, right?
Well,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe he assumes dad would be like, okay, like I won't tell her.
Yeah, it just feels wrong on both sides in a way, but definitely more
Definitely.
wrong on
6 years is crazy.
I'm still hung up on the explanation of year 5 when he was like, well, the reason I totally dropped the ball on celebrating our anniversary is because I only want to celebrate our anniversary with proposing to you from now on because it's embarrassing.
Which is why the next year, which is now, should be that if he's really saying
Right.
that like he now has a job again, his savings are looking great. Like, I don't know. Another commenter says, OP, there's a lot of space between not nagging the poop out of him and setting ultimatums, and quietly hoping while setting hard deadlines in your own head. In a healthy relationship, a couple has mutual goals that they work toward together, and it doesn't sound as if that's happening here. Another commenter says, to be fair, the guy did tell the dad that he meant to propose at the end of the month. Not unreasonable for OP to not expect it. Another commenter says, don't let your boyfriend prevent you from meeting your husband, because this guy ain't it. My 31 female boyfriend's 29 male's mom still buys his underwear and work clothes? How would y'all feel if the man you've been with still lets his mom buy his underwear and his work clothes? My boyfriend is 29, and his mom can be a little overbearing since he's her only child. He works in a technical field, so he doesn't have to dress up much, and she's basically the one who buys all of his work clothes. For Christmas, she'll also buy big packs of underwear for both him and her husband. It's not like she's constantly buying these things throughout the year, but I know for a fact my boyfriend has never gone to the store and bought his own underwear or work clothes. I've brought it up before, and a few people told me it's not a big deal, and that he's just lucky to still have a mom who does things for him. But I'm curious, how would y'all feel if your boyfriend let their mom buy their underwear? Update 2! And now we're completely back to the dinner!
Okay. Don't know what's going on here, but I'll say this. I'd be much more concerned if my partner's mom was buying my underwear. You know? Like, if my partner got me some, like, skinty little thing to wear, and they were like, by the way, my mom picked this out, I'd be like, okay, so we're breaking up. Because your mom can't buy my lingerie.
Update 2! I'm getting ready for dinner as I type this, but honestly, a part of me feels like I'm not going to be proposed to tonight, and that's a hard pill to swallow. In the last post, I mentioned that he told me verbatim that I would not be his girlfriend by our next anniversary. He said he would 1,000% be proposing by then. And he told my dad the same thing. So this wasn't something I imagined or hinted about. It came directly from him. Now fast forward to today. He sent me a sweet good morning text, booked me a massage for 5 p.m., and made dinner reservations at one of our favorite restaurants for 8:30. But the restaurant closed at 9. That already raised an eyebrow for me. I asked him if he meant 7:30 instead, and he just said, "Nah, but I can move it up earlier if you want." That response and the fact that he only called the restaurant earlier today made things feel more casual than I expected. I guess I'm just sitting here asking myself, would it be unreasonable for me to leave him if he doesn't propose tonight? And yes, there are a few days left in August, but if you tell someone you're going to do something by a certain date and they plan their heart around that timeline, are they wrong for walking away when it doesn't happen? I'm trying not to spiral. I know there's still a dinner to go to, but deep down, I'm preparing myself to be let down and trying to figure out what comes next if I am. Small update! He handed me a David Yurman bracelet that I've been wanting for months now. He's being pretty quiet at dinner. Okay. Will he propose or not?
No.
You say no.
No. Update 3.
Our anniversary was yesterday. He planned a dinner at one of our favorite restaurants, and earlier in the day, he told me he had booked a massage for me and that we had 8:30 reservations. When he got to my house, he had a big bouquet of flowers and the David Yurman bracelet I'd been wanting. But the way he gave it to me felt strange. It was off. He didn't look me in the eye. He just passed the bag to me quickly before heading to the bathroom to change. I said thank you, but a part of me knew in that moment, when he gave me that expensive bracelet, that I wouldn't be getting a proposal that night. He kept telling me I looked beautiful and amazing, and that he liked the color I was wearing. I had put effort into looking good for our anniversary, and I know I looked good. Okay. But when I looked at him, there was a sadness or disappointment in his eyes. Something felt off. I think he was picking up on how quiet I had gotten after he gave me the bracelet. When we got to the restaurant, he tried making small talk, but I wasn't really going. I was just mirroring his energy because something in me could tell he wasn't fully present. Eventually, I asked him why he was so quiet, and I brought up the bracelet. He immediately defended himself, saying he was just on his way to change clothes and didn't mean anything by how he gave it to me. I told him it just didn't feel special. Then I asked him directly, "Are you proposing tonight?" He looked disappointed and said no. That's when I told him to cancel the food order because I was ready to leave, and I got up and walked out. When I got in the car, I told him I felt like this was over. I said if I stayed, I'd just be wasting more time. I asked when he planned to propose, and he started fumbling over his words and said something like, maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I told him he had until today, and that was it for me. The car ride home was quiet. When we got close to the house, I didn't say much. I got out and went inside. A few minutes later, I noticed he had turned his location off. I texted him shortly after and told him to come get the dog and his things. He came back, picked everything up, and we ended up having one final conversation before he left. I told him flat out, I'm getting older, I'm in my early 30s, and I've been clear that I'm ready to move forward with my life. He gave me his word, and he even gave my father his word that he would propose by the end of this month. Now, all of a sudden, when I ask directly, he tells me probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I asked him, what difference would a few weeks even make? Does he have a ring?
Probably not.
I'd be like, show me the ring. Rings take longer than that to come and size.
He does not have a ring.
No.
He had a bracelet.
He said, go ahead.
Well, that is a really good question, too, of like, what's the difference between now and 3 weeks from now? Like, what? Nothing.
He said, I was wrong to assume he doesn't want to marry me or that he doesn't love me. He said that he loves me more than he loves himself. He said he hates that it looks like he doesn't want to marry me because that's not the case. And then he brought up something that caught me off guard. He said years ago, I mentioned that one of my cousins got proposed to with a $10,000 ring. And ever since then, he thought that was what I expected and felt like that's honestly what I deserved after waiting so long. I had only mentioned the price of the ring to say how over the top it was, not to encourage him. I've always told him I don't need a ring that expensive, and he knows that. I'm not materialistic like that. I told him I'm not falling for that excuse. I never asked for a $10,000 ring, and he knows that. What I was really thinking is, yes, we hit some financial struggles last year. He lost his job for a month. We moved back in with our parents, and we've been living there ever since. Our plan was to move out this year. I've been patient. But none of that changes the fact that he's had time to plan. Time to save since we live at home with our parents and he hasn't. Before he left, I'll admit I was really upset. I called him a liar. And when I did, he said something like, if that's what you think of me, then let's just both be done because there's nothing I can say at this point.
Dude, this is a weak man. I'm
And-
sorry. This is a weak man. She called him a liar, which
He was.
tangibly he's lying because he said by the end of the month and he lied or he was wrong. And for him to then be like, well, if you're going to call me a liar, then let's just call it. That's like him trying to make it, it's like, yeah, we ended on even terms. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this is ending
No.
because, I don't know, you just keep dragging your feet on a thing that,
Keep making excuses.
yeah, weird excuses too.
She obviously didn't expect you to buy her a $10,000 ring.
Yeah,
You could have rolled up with a ring pop that night.
clearly.
Maybe something nicer, but.
You know,
And then I told him to leave. Since then, he hasn't reached out. It's been 12 hours and I haven't heard a word from him. I'm pretty sure he's already deleted all of my pictures. I turned my location off too. By the way, I have a location where you can always listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app, search OK Storytime. So, there's more. There's more.
there's more. There's more.
You stinky liar.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like nothing that was actually real ended up coming to light.
No, I could totally be on board with OP being like, listen, he said on our 5-year, like, he couldn't do it because he just lost his job, but that, like, by next anniversary, like, yeah, I'd be like, great. We got a year, dude. Like,
Yeah.
count down the days. But then, like,
I guess you're
such
yeah.
a disappointment.
Yeah, you brought up the 5-year thing. I guess I wasn't considering that because he lost his job.
Yeah.
That might have been, could have been the reasoning for his weird explanation.
But also, he
But-
said he lost his job, like, the week before. And
Right.
again, if you were going to propose, you'd have a ring before a week before.
It feels like it's just a cover.
He just
I don't
didn't
know.
want to.
Yeah, exactly. It just feels like this guy's like, I don't know if I want to marry her.
Yikes.
It's like been 6 years.
So now I'm just here, sitting with it. I lost my mom to cancer last year. My dad is getting older. And no, I'm not trying to live for my parents, but it hurts deeply knowing my mom will never get to see me get married or have kids. I spent 6 years with this man, 6 years of my life, and now it's just done. I booked an appointment with my old therapist. I haven't seen her in almost a year. But I need help working through this. Right now, I just feel numb. Please be nice to me because I am shattered. That's the end of that.
My in-laws tried to have their wedding on my property after I already rejected it.
Not around here, partner.
My brother-in-law, who is 30, let's call him Duke, and my sister-in-law, 25, let's call her Deanna, have been together for 2 years. This summer, they had their wedding. I am still reeling. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Duke and Deanna got engaged winter of 2023. In spring of 2024, they were evacuated from where they lived, 12 hours north of us, because of a forest fire.
Oh.
Of course, we said that they could stay with us. This included them and their 2 large dogs. We live on an acreage and have 2 large dogs ourselves, so this isn't an issue. Or so we thought.
No.
By the way, this comes from messpatient8264 on the Charlotte Dober YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Duke and Deanna enjoy some recreational activities, which is legal where we live. To each their own. However, we at the time had 2 young children, and now we have 3. Legal or not, there are no substances allowed in our home. They were respectful of this rule and kept it outside, although our home reeked the entire time. While they were here, they would not take care of their large hyper dogs, and it became my responsibility.
Oh, no.
As my husband works full-time, and I am at home with the kids. Their dogs are not well behaved, and I did not feel comfortable taking care of large dogs constantly jumping at me and starting fights with our dogs. Our dogs are large but lazy, and they don't jump.
Truly, like, the second that I start seeing this behavior,
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, you need to take care of your dogs. This
Yeah.
is unacceptable behavior.
Yeah.
If you want to continue to live here,
Yeah.
you address that
Honestly,
immediately.
Immediately.
Like, the second that you have to start taking care of their dogs and they're being aggressive
Right.
with yours,
Right.
no.
I promise the dogs are relevant. They would leave late at night and drive high. I don't want to have to deal with that responsibility if anything happens to them. Anyways, during that time that my brother-in-law, let's say Tim, got married that year, while they were down here for the evacuation. He is brothers with my husband and Duke. Duke and Deanna were late to help with setup and over an hour late to the intimate rehearsal dinner because they were napping, which was actually they were smoking.
Okay. I was going to say no. Well,
Yeah.
both of those excuses are dumb.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I also would, I think I would be really pissed if someone told me they were napping and that's why they missed something. I'd be like,
Yeah,
just
it's
tell me
like,
the truth.
set an alarm.
Yeah,
girl. Like,
come
what?
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Throughout the wedding, Deanna was commenting about all the things that she would never do at her wedding. It was a classy and well done wedding. It's clear from so many small instances that they have no respect for others, their boundaries, property, or time.
I mean, what do they know about class?
Yeah, clearly nothing. While they stayed with us for 3 weeks waiting to be allowed back into their home, nothing was damaged. They planned their wedding. Sort of. They asked if they could have their wedding on our property.
No.
This is where my husband and I got married in the height of the vid. Before my husband bought the house, it was family land. We said we would consider it because it could be considered a special spot to Duke. After 3 weeks, they went back up north. My husband and I talked about it and decided that we could not host a wedding for them. That summer, I became pregnant with our third. My husband works a lot of overtime in the summer, and they were aiming to get married in July 2025. We didn't think we would be able to get the house or property wedding ready. As well, I didn't want to have to host a wedding while caring for 3 young children, as our baby would be a newborn at the time.
And you know you would have to do everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, they wouldn't even take care of their own dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, much of Deanna's family partakes in recreational activities, and we couldn't trust that these people we didn't know would respect our rules of no devil's lettuce in the house. Now, the one thing this family lacks is communication. The one thing? And we must take responsibility for our lack of communication. They said that they thought our place would make a good venue. They did not say for sure that they wanted to get married there, so we waited to hear about more wedding plans. We didn't want to have to say no and be a-holes if they choose a different venue.
I think that's fair. I don't even think that's a lack of communication on your end. I think it's just them being like, oh, it'd be nice to have a wedding here. And you're like,
Yeah.
They didn't say, hey, can we have the wedding here?
Right. Yeah. And like, hopefully you guys didn't say like, oh yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. As long as you didn't say that,
Right.
you're fine.
Right. We assumed after announcing our pregnancy that they wouldn't expect us to host with a new baby. We told family about the baby in August 2024. They never followed up with us, and since we didn't agree to hosting, we assumed that they found a different wedding venue. Fast forward to February 2025. I am as pregnant as it gets, and honestly, my mental health wasn't great. Duke and Deanna sent out wedding invites. Location, my address. When? July. Of course.
No.
That's crazy,
No.
dude.
What?
And now the invite's already out.
That's insane.
I was livid. My husband, who was also upset, handled it very well. He told them that we were unable to accommodate them, and he was much kinder about it than I would have been. We expected a fight, but they agreed to change the venue. We appreciated that greatly. Okay. And it was e-invites, so it was not costly to change or resend. Free, in fact. Now, you may have already decided that I'm the a-hole for making them change their venue.
No.
No, not at all.
No.
But let me paint a picture for you of their wedding and celebration. After we said our place was a no-go, they had to look for another venue. But it was difficult because they wanted a specific date. A Thursday. Weird.
Sure.
We thought that was weird, but whatever. My husband asked why that date was so important, and we were told, you aren't allowed to ask.
Okay.
What?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Don't ask me.
It's
Bad
important.
luck.
It's important because of Nunya and your business. Now it's the end of June, and they are getting married at the beginning of July. As expected, this wedding is messy and unorganized. At this point, they have had 1.5 years to plan and prep for this wedding. All decor is DIY, and so was mine for my wedding. My mom and I did it all during our 6-month engagement. Duke and Deanna have done none of it beforehand. Everything is brought down, they still got married down here, to be made and done only 2 weeks before the wedding. During this time, they are staying with mother-in-law and father-in-law because I was not hosting and caring for their insane dogs with young children and a new baby. The family thinks I'm ridiculous for not catering to the needs of the precious family fave and his soon-to-be bride. They try to passive-aggressively encourage us to take the dogs to our house because there is more space on our property. We did not cave. I started to wonder if I'm being the a-hole. It is their wedding. Maybe I should be more lenient. But apparently Deanna doesn't like anything mother-in-law cooks. I don't always agree with my mother-in-law and we don't always get along, but she is a good woman and she would cook anything for anyone. And sister-in-law keeps saying, oh no, I don't like that, and won't eat it with the family. She will only go get fast food after the meal. That's so rude, dude. If someone is like letting you stay with them, even for anything, like especially a wedding, like, and you're not going to eat their cooking.
That's crazy. If someone was staying with me and they were like, and I was like, yeah, like I'll cook today, and they're like,
yeah. And then you do cook, and then afterwards they get fast food because they don't like it.
I would be heartbroken, and I would
be
kick them out.
I feel like if you really, really didn't like whatever someone's cooking for you, offer to cook yourself.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I'll cook for everyone.
Yeah, like come on. Father-in-law cooks a steak, and she requests a hot dog instead.
What? This isn't an open menu.
This is like how I was as a child.
Yeah, yeah. Your parent gives you like pasta, and you're like, I want chicken nuggets.
Yeah, exactly. They, of course, give her what she wants.
What?
But suddenly, mother-in-law is very upset when they leave to stay at a hotel a few days before the wedding, and she is left to care for the dogs and the cats. Yes, they brought their cats, because apparently there's no house sitter or animal caretaker where they live. And that's why we didn't want the animals at our house.
Well, addendum, no free pet sitter.
Exactly. That's a very important note. My daughter had her second birthday the first week of July, and it was great to have them in town so everyone could come for the party. Just a super chill wiener roast. Sister-in-law is upset that it's hot dogs and won't eat anything. I'm sorry,
now she doesn't like hot dogs?
Come on, girl, make up your
mind.
It unfortunately rains and we have to move the party inside. She sits outside and will not come in to do cake and presents with her niece.
She's getting soaked eating a hot dog. Oh, not eating a hot dog today. I don't know what she's eating today.
Why are you staying outside? You're crazy. I know my daughter won't remember, but it frustrates me when my family won't make an effort with my kids. She's 2. Just come and have cake with her. Supposedly, she has social anxiety, which is fair, but except she sure didn't have any during her wedding celebration, which I promise we will get to. It wasn't a big birthday party, just a little celebration with family and a couple close friends. So it's the day before the wedding. I go with lots of other family to help decorate and set up the hall. But we aren't setting up. We are making the decorations. They've had a year and a half. We're making signs, bouquets with fake flowers.
Why are you
Could
helping?
have been done in advance. Centerpieces, painting signs, and making and decorating an arch. Nothing was organized. We went out to grab more supplies. It was 30 degrees Celsius in a building with no AC.
Oh,
And
that's hot.
Yeah.
That's not too hot, but with no AC, that is hot.
That's hot.
Around, like that's like 80.
Something like
80.
that. Her dad had to stop helping to bathe his dogs. It was wild. I worked hard and so did everyone else. They worked their butts off to pull this wedding together for Duke and Deanna because despite my bad attitude, we do love them. So rehearsal. The chaplain isn't there to run the rehearsal, so we are missing a groomsman and the littlest flower girl, 18 months old, isn't there to practice. Deanna is looking lost, so I offer to help. I'm no expert, but I've been to a lot of weddings recently and explain how things are usually done. And I ask if she wants me to step in or if she wants me to just sit and be quiet. She did ask for my help, so I directed the processional. It's messy, but we practice and it's okay. She's very specific about the timing of her entrance, which I get. The little parts matter. I told her we might have to loop the song as it's quite a long walk down a hill to where they are saying their vows. Don't worry, it's relevant. So, finally, the day of the wedding. Are we ready, everyone?
I'm ready.
We ready. We get to the hall. Deanna is there. Not ready. Freaking out about the decor still. The groom and groomsmen are almost late because they realized that morning that he didn't have a tie. They also had to stop and grab booze.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't have a tie? He didn't have one tie?
That's crazy, dude. They also had to stop and grab booze for the wedding the morning of because why would we be prepared? When Duke gets there, Deanna starts fighting with him about stuff that he was supposed to do but didn't. It's a mess. Finally, whatever the heck is going on is resolved and she keeps getting ready. The wedding ceremony starts 30 minutes late. In the grand scheme of things, not bad. Probably the best part of the day. So things are off to a rocky start. No one thought to bring the speakers out for the music. We finally get it set up and we can start. I'm at the top of the hill with the flower girls and ring bearer. 2 of the 4 kiddos are mine. My son is almost 4 and he's the oldest. I ask him to hold the littlest girl's hand to help her down the hill. Most 18-month-old kids haven't been walking for long, and they certainly haven't mastered hills. Music is playing. The bridal party is making their entrance, but not fast enough. Deanna starts freaking out. Why aren't they going fast enough? I said, it's okay, we can loop the song. The grandmas took a little longer going down the hill than expected. They were walked down the hill with help, but old ladies take a while. She snaps at me. No one gets how important it is until it's their moment.
Okay, well, it wasn't that important to you, clearly, because you didn't plan anything.
Yeah, like, why are you starting at the top of a hill for your walk down the
Crazy.
aisle? You're supposed to start, like, where the people are sitting.
Yeah.
My guy. I doubt you have enough people at this party
This
to
isn't
be
the
up a giant
Stations
hill.
of the Cross. Let's make it
Yeah.
a little easier.
Come on. I didn't say anything. I don't want to be rude. It's her wedding and it can be stressful, but I, of all people, get it. I replanned my wedding 4 times during the vid to follow all the rules. She throws her phone to me. It's connected to the speakers with the music, and she doesn't want to carry her phone in the aisle. Fair. Now it's time for the children to go. My son is going slow because the little girl can barely walk, and it's downhill. Deanna snaps at the kids to hurry up. They turn around and start coming back up because they think that they're doing something wrong. Aww. She snaps again and grabs the littlest one and barrels down the aisle. My son is sensitive and starts to cry because this aunt that he barely knows is yelling at him, and there's lots of people around that he doesn't know. I take my kids and go sit down. I can only imagine what pictures look like. And somehow it doesn't end here. They have super fast vows, and here's the twist. The chaplain announces that they are already married, and it's their 1-year anniversary.
Psych.
One of those things.
Joke's on you. Pff, you've just been pranked.
No one says anything. No one claps. And they kiss. There's absolute silence.
Dang.
It's a fake wedding. She yelled at my kids for a fake moment. It's fine to elope, and it's okay to celebrate at a different date if you can't afford it. But to lie to everyone for a whole year? Now we know why the date was so special. Yeah, they weren't allowed to ask because it's their anniversary.
It's their
That's the reason.
anniversary. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And a year before, they posted a pic of both of them wearing rings, and I asked, did you guys get married? And she said, no, it's a men's engagement ring. My husband was in the wedding party, so of course he was in the photos. They had to take multiple breaks during photos to light up and get some fresh air. They were over an hour late for the reception. Wild. Everyone at the wedding is pleasant, but it for sure put a damper on the whole mood. Not gonna lie, I checked out. I did not help with cleanup. I wasn't gonna drag my kids back to the hall for another day, and my husband wasn't taking another day off work for this. He was hurt. His brother got married and didn't tell him or anyone about it. By the way, I will always tell you about the fact that we've got full episodes of more stories just like this one on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. They're all over there.
They're all there. Waiting
They're all
for you.
there. Yeah, there is a little bit more to this story, but how would you feel if you found out about that?
If I found out that Sam got married and I didn't know, I'd be devastated.
I would be so sad,
But
right?
I have a very close relationship with my brother.
Yeah,
And if I, maybe OP's husband doesn't have that close. I don't know.
yeah.
But if Sam's not allowed to do
Yeah.
that.
My cousin told me to take our gift back. I thought about it, but we didn't. Many people traveled so far for this wedding, anywhere from 5 to 23 hours of driving or flights
Ooh.
for a fake wedding, for a joke.
Well, I will say I don't think it was a joke.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a
I
joke,
think
but
it was a ceremony to celebrate, and they were trying to do a whole surprise. Because I have seen the trend that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And regardless of what I would do or not,
right.
I do think it's not fair to say it's fake. It is still a ceremony.
Yeah.
But I understand that you're hurt.
Right. There were so many small things that happened. My husband did not hide how he was feeling. Deanna asked me, is your husband mad at me? He seemed kind of grumpy. I just laughed and walked away. So, am I the a-hole? I didn't let them have their wedding at my house. I didn't help with cleanup, and I don't want them to stay at my house again. I feel like they have no respect for time, property, or boundaries of others, and I don't want her around yelling at my kids that she won't take the time to make an effort with. Am I overreacting? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it wasn't a real wedding. And that's the end of that story. Yikes, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that it was a real wedding.
Like,
it was
I
just a
guess.
ceremony.
It was a wedding. I I mean, could you technically call it a real wedding? I mean, they already were wed.
I mean, the ceremony is not happening, but like the
the
celebration
yeah.
is still important.
It's a wedding celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything else, not the a-hole.
Yeah, definitely not the a-hole.
Yeah,
That,
no.
because, I mean, obviously this whole thing was so unprepared.
Yeah.
And so
you were
messy.
expected to do so much.
Yeah, exactly. And so if that was at your place, you
Oh.
would have been driven crazy, dude, because
yeah.
then there's cleanup. And
Then you are stuck with the cleanup because
Yeah.
it's your house.
yeah, and then there's still,
And
know,
if anyone like messes
having this
things
whole
up,
party.
breaks
Yeah.
things.
Right, you're
on you.
responsible, and they definitely won't pay you for that. 'cause
No.
they're obviously looking for free for everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely
Definitely
not.
not.
I would still be mad.
Agreed. But
Yep.
folks, that's the end of that story and the end of the episode.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and see you tomorrow.
My husband's aunt kept meddling in our wedding, so she was banned from future weddings.
You're banned.
My sister KJ asked me to share her wedding nightmare on Reddit since she doesn't have an account. Fair warning, this gets absolutely wild. For context on our blended family, I'm the oldest, then KJ, fraternal twins Kylie and Jen, and youngest sister Kat. Rose is Kat's mom and our dad's wife. So a couple years back, KJ married her best friend Nick. They'd been together since elementary school, started dating in high school, and everyone knew that they were endgame. That's super sweet. As broke college students, Nick training to be an EMT/volunteer firefighter, KJ studying business and finance, they planned a simple church wedding to save money. By the way, this comes from Zero Miss Kitty Cat on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. This is one of our own directly to us. But if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit and we will obviously read them for you. The second they announced their engagement, Nick's aunt Karen started inserting herself into everything. And I mean everything. The colors, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, where they were getting the cake. Every single detail. Nick told her repeatedly to stop, but Karen always insisted that she was just trying to help. Unfortunately, she was constantly at Nick's parents' house helping with his grandparents, so she had front row seats to all their wedding planning. Since they were funding most of the wedding themselves, KJ and Nick made the practical decision to have a child-free ceremony. With all the kids in both families, they would have had over 300 people otherwise. On Nick's side alone, every cousin had at least 2 kids. They hired babysitters and offered my dad and Rose's house for childcare, but Karen wasn't having it. When Karen asked about the ring bearer, KJ told her it would be their dogs in little outfits walking down the aisle. That's the cutest thing I've ever heard. Karen didn't want to leave her 5-year-old son Benny with strangers. Here's what you should know about Benny.
Oh boy.
We need to know stuff about this 5-year-old? Oh boy. This kid could do absolutely no wrong in Karen's eyes. If he pushed another child, somehow it was the other kid's fault for making Benny push them. He screwed a whole lot when he didn't get his way, didn't understand the word no, and was one of the few kids suspended from kindergarten for hitting other children. This kid needs to go to therapy at 5 years old. This kid, my goodness, this is not a way to raise a child. And Karen's solution, him getting suspended from kindergarten, blamed the teacher for not watching him closely enough. She never punished or even scolded him. Her husband, Bob, basically lived at work overtime to avoid dealing with them both. After their cake testing, KJ and Nick chose a gorgeous 3-tier cake. Red velvet, vanilla, and chocolate layers with red frosting and black flowers. It was stunning and perfect for their September wedding. Karen absolutely hated it, calling it tacky and saying it was for goth people, not church-going people like us. She kept pushing for something more traditional. Weeks later, the cake maker called asking if they really wanted to change their order. Someone claiming to be Rose, my dad's wife, had supposedly called wanting to switch it to a plain vanilla cake with white frosting and flowers. KJ freaked out and immediately called Rose, who had absolutely no idea what she was talking about. Rose was so upset that KJ would suspect her that she offered to bring her phone over so KJ could check her call log. They went through everything together. No calls to the bakery, no searches for cake companies. The mystery caller had used a fake phone number. She's going through lengths to do this. My dad was furious and went to the bakery to check their caller ID, but there was no way to trace it back. KJ apologized profusely to Rose for suspecting her, but someone was definitely sabotaging their wedding. She cried to Nick that night, feeling terrible for accusing Rose, but having no idea who would do such a thing. For bridesmaids' dresses, KJ chose black so that the girls could rewear them. All three sisters ended up picking similar off-shoulder styles with leg slits, each with different sparkly details. Kat with silver glitter, while twins, Kylie and Jen, had purple and black reflective underskirts, respectively. KJ's college friend got a flowy black off-the-shoulder dress. Everyone was happy with their choices and the reasonable prices. Then Karen showed up uninvited to the dress fitting. My mom and Rose asked her to leave since she had no business being there, but Karen played innocent. Why don't you want me here? I just want to be part of this beautiful occasion. After much eye-rolling, Rose said that she could stay if she kept her mouth shut. The second she said anything out of line, she was gone. These are the boundaries I like to see. Let's go. Karen immediately started complaining. First about sticking with black. First the cake, now your dresses. Then about why the dresses weren't all identical like bridesmaids usually do. The real drama started when 17-year-old Kat was getting alterations. She's the most blessed in the chest of all the sisters, and they were adjusting the neckline to make her more comfortable. That's when Karen decided to announce, "You're going to let Kat look like a spicy dancer at your wedding? Her front airbags are out. You might as well give her a spicy dancer pole. She should wear a high neck dress. This is a wedding after all."
Karen.
Well, looks like you said
What?
something out of line. I hope you are forced to leave now. Those are the boundaries decided. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? Get a breast reduction so that I don't look like a spicy dancer because clothes they just show them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they're already altering it to make her more comfortable. Kat whipped around. Who even invited you? What's your problem? We're literally fixing the dress right now. Do you understand what altered means? Why are you so concerned about my front airbags anyway? Isn't that effing weird to be talking about a minor's body?
Ooh.
Boom! She got her, dude.
Dang.
She's a minor.
Arrest her.
When Karen doubled down about not wanting Kat to attract the wrong kind of attention, Kat exploded. The wrong attention at my sister's wedding, where my family will be? What the heck does that mean? That's when Kylie jumped in. She was having the exact same fitting issue, but Karen hadn't said a word to her. Why are you talking about a minor's chest but not saying anything to me as an adult having the same problem? My mom and Rose had heard enough. They told Karen she was salute-shaming their daughters and escorted her out immediately. Jen looked at KJ and said, "Are you really having that woman at your wedding?" And Kat declared that if Karen caused any problems at the wedding, I'm throwing hands and front airbags will be swinging. I don't care. I love that. I love it. You just if anything happens, you just boom.
Whoa,
And you
easy
get
now.
her.
Easy now.
That's what's gonna happen at the wedding, dude.
We just saw it.
You're picking fights with the wrong girl. Before KJ could even get home to tell Nick what happened, Karen had already called him at work, complaining that they took what she said out of context and were bullying her. She conveniently left out the part about calling a minor a sleut. Wedding day was pure chaos from the start. The best man fell up the church steps and broke his teeth. What? He stood up anyway, high on painkillers. The limo tire popped, making them late. Jen had an allergic reaction to the makeup artist's mascara, and her eyes swelled up. In all the panic, they forgot their ring-bearer dog, Diamond, at home, so my mom had to race back and get her. Nick locked his keys in the car with the vows and rings inside. Yikes. KJ's younger brother tripped walking down the aisle and gave himself rug burn on his face. Despite everything, KJ was wearing her beloved grandmother's vintage wedding dress, not perfectly white and clearly aged, but absolutely beautiful. She had it carefully tailored so that Kat could wear it for her future wedding too. During the ceremony photos, they noticed Karen wasn't there. Bob showed up briefly but left before the reception, just shrugging when asked about Karen's whereabouts. They hoped she would actually stay at home for once. But she hadn't.
Oh no.
And lightning strikes.
With everything going on, she's just waiting for her interest.
Karen had snuck into the reception early with Benny, figuring that they couldn't punt her out once she was already there. During the speeches, everyone could hear little feet running around and screaming at full volume. Benny was causing absolute chaos. My dad went over and told Karen that she needed to control her son or leave. Good on you, Dad. This was supposed to be a child-free wedding after all. Karen claimed that she didn't feel comfortable leaving Benny with strangers and just wanted to support the family. She promised that he would behave. He was just excited. Dad gave her an ultimatum. Any more disruptions and she was gone. Karen claimed that she'd been dropped off and had no ride home, so Dad said that he'd find her a sober driver. That kept her quiet for a while. Then came time to cut the beautiful red velvet cake with its red frosting and black flowers.
Oh no.
They brought it out early so guests could admire it, and it was truly gorgeous. Right before KJ and Nick were about to make the ceremonial first cut, Benny stuck his hands directly into the cake and ran straight to KJ, wiping his frosting-covered hands all down the back inside of her grandmother's vintage dress. Okay. Yikes, dude.
If there's a lake nearby, hopefully you can swim.
Yikes, that is so much worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought he was just going to get into the cake and that's it. This is when I'm going to Karen with my front airbags. Boom! Boom! This is when we're fighting with those those it's hard to
My girlfriend, everyone.
That's what you gotta do, okay? Karen asked for it. KJ screamed when she felt the frosting hit. Nick spun around, her sisters came running, and Kylie grabbed Benny while KJ started crying. Everyone rushed over as Jen took KJ to the bathroom with my mom, Nick's mother, and Rose to try desperately to clean the dress. Meanwhile, Kat went absolutely nuclear on Karen. That's right, that's our Miss Kitty Cat. Let's go. According to my dad's later account, Kat death sprinted across the room and grabbed Karen, screaming like Regina George. Your effing son just wiped frosting down my sister's wedding dress because you weren't watching your kid. What the F is your problem? Karen's response? Well, if they would have gotten a white wedding cake like I said, it wouldn't have mattered if he wiped it on her, but she had to go with that god-awful goth-looking cake.
I knew she was going to say that.
It still would have been bad if you wiped a white cake onto her dress.
Yeah, and I mean, she said that like the dress wasn't even perfectly white. It was aged and old. It's a vintage dress. White lace doesn't stay that white.
Of course, Benny didn't do anything wrong.
Crazy. That's when Kat completely lost it. You are god effing awful. You've called me a sleut. You've made my sister's life heck over a wedding that's not even yours. Nobody wanted you here. We were relieved when you weren't at the church and you just ruined our grandmother's dress. You selfish effing witch. When Karen said she was trying to enjoy her meal and that he's a child, he gets into stuff. Kat screamed that he was her child, that she should have been watching. Before my dad could intervene, Kat slapped Karen straight across the face. Honestly, we don't promote violence here, but Kat, I support everything you're doing. Dad had to physically remove Kat while an uncle escorted Karen out. Jen drove them home since she was the only one with a car seat. In the bathroom, KJ sat in her Spanx, crying while everyone tried desperately to save the dress. Her college friend ran to the only nearby store, a Goodwill, and grabbed any dress that would fit. Mom and Rose drove an hour to an emergency dry cleaner with the wedding dress. Meanwhile, poor Grandpa was outside trying to entertain the shocked guests after what he described as the biggest smackdown he'd ever seen. Everyone was stunned. The bride screaming and running out, another girl screaming and slapping an older woman, a kid clapping his hands happily while licking cake frosting off his fingers. Nick asked if KJ wanted to just leave, but she refused. They'd spent so much time and money on the venue, and she wanted the day to be perfect. Karen had ruined everything, but KJ wasn't going to let her ruin the rest of their celebration. Eventually, Kat came into the bathroom looking just as destroyed as KJ, giant black raccoon eyes and red splotches everywhere. She sat on the floor and cried with her sister. When the makeup artist came back, Jen had called her to explain the situation. Kat joked through her tears. Well, look who's the sleut now. That witch was worried about my front airbags being out, and you're here in just Spanx. For the rest of her wedding, KJ wore an early 2000s blue prom dress from Goodwill with straps tied together to keep it up. Despite everything, they danced and celebrated. At the end of the day, she'd married her best friend, and that's what mattered most. 2 days after the wedding, Dad, Rose, Jen, and Kat came to KJ with a confession. During the chaos, Karen had admitted something crucial. If they would have just let me change the wedding cake to a white one, this wouldn't have been an issue. I wonder if she told him, like, put your hands in the cake.
Oh, yeah, she
wipe
did.
it on her dress.
She definitely did. She definitely called to try to change the cake. She definitely told Benny to do that. Oh, yeah, this is all planned by her.
Dude, I know revenge is never a good idea, but I really am fighting the urge to seek revenge on this woman. Karen had been the mysterious caller who tried to sabotage the cake order. KJ was furious, but also relieved to finally know the truth. They went in no contact with Karen immediately and informed Nick's parents about everything she had done. The dry cleaners tried their best, but the vintage dress was too old and delicate. There are permanent black and red streaks that will never come out. Both KJ and Kat were heartbroken. They'd been so close to their grandmother, who used to tell stories about saving up for that dress and how beautiful she felt wearing it. It was like seeing Cinderella's dress in person. Oh my gosh. No. And I would be very heartbroken if you didn't go to your favorite podcast app, whether that's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you so choose, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes with more stories just like this one.
Wow.
Please do it or else I'll cry.
This is heartbreaking. Miss Kitty Cat says they keep Benny far, far away from me since I am an officer now.
Okay. That tells us all we need to know about what Benny's up to at 15.
Yikes.
Yikes. There is a little bit more to the story. They took Karen to court for the destroyed cake. Oh, wow. Venue cleanup costs, dress cleaning, and emotional damages. Karen launched a Facebook campaign about how ungrateful they were for taking it out on a child, but they won the case. The venue even provided video evidence. You can actually hear Kat's Regina George scream and see the slap. They never spoke to Karen again. She was banned from all future family weddings. Bob still shows up to some family gatherings, but Karen is persona non grata. KJ and Nick plan to renew their vows someday, hopefully with less drama. She kept that blue prom dress as a trophy from the nightmare wedding, and fortunately has photos of her grandmother's dress from the alterations before it was ruined. Looking back, KJ says that she's grateful everyone pulled together during the chaos. The after photos of her in the prom dress are pretty crazy, and someday when they show their kids the wedding album, they'll have quite the story to tell about how absolutely insane their wedding got. But at the end of the day, she married her best friend, and that made all the drama worth it. And that's the end of that story. Wow, dude. Wow. That's
craziest Karen story I've read in a minute.
That's beautiful. A beautiful ending. A beautiful ending. Beautiful that the love is so powerful that even a Karen can't ruin their day fully.
I think this may have inspired Kat to even become an officer.
My friend kissed me at his bachelor party, and now I'm banned from their wedding.
Wait. She kissed you?
I, 29 male, was supposed to be a groomsman for my best friend, 30 male, as we've been tight since we were kids. This weekend, he's marrying his fiance, 28 female, who I've known since they were dating long distance in high school. By the way, this comes from Investigator OK 7152, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. At his bachelor party last weekend, we started off at my place and transitioned to bar hopping. By the end, my best friend was wasted, and the guys, all of our mutual friends, and some of his cousins, were egging him on to do a last kiss before marriage. Dare. For extra info, I'm not a fan of that custom-met bachelors or bachelorettes because it honestly makes it look like you're being held hostage to marry the love of your life. Plus, it's just disrespectful to your partner. That's just an opinion I have, but I knew my best friend shared it too. Still, I figured if it had to be, my best friend wouldn't do it because I know he loves his fiancé very much. To my literal shock and horror, he turned around, grabbed, and kissed me. Not even a dumb peck, he actually dipped me and held it for a few seconds until everyone was laughing obnoxiously. I didn't kiss back. I just froze and laughed it off when it finished. Later, I realized I wasn't having much fun anymore and bailed early, taking some of our driver friends home with me. The next day, his fiancé first texted me on Insta, then on WhatsApp asking to talk, and then calling me. She wasn't yelling or anything, but she was just kind of awkward. She said she knew about the kiss and that while she didn't love it, She was glad it was me and not some random girl. She said if he had kissed another woman, she would have taken it as cheating and dealt with it worse. I agreed and backed her point, saying I wouldn't have encouraged or allowed that. But at the same time, she admitted she didn't feel comfortable with me being at the wedding now either, because it would just be in the back of her head. I was admittedly stunned at first and then mad, then upset, but came to the conclusion that it was her wedding at the end of the day. I told her I got it and wouldn't go. She thanked me for understanding, but also asked me not to tell my best friend that she was the one who asked. I have already sent the text backing out, giving reasons regarding work, and my best friend was very upset and asked me if I could back out in any way. I freelance, by the way, and he knows this, so my lie wasn't a good one. He went from upset to straight up mad at me for bailing out on his wedding for work. All our mutuals have texted me in our share wedding group chat and have asked me to reconsider. They told me there's no way I'm skipping his wedding for work I myself manage, some being harsher and some passive-aggressive, all very valid. Now I'm stuck looking like the a-hole when I was literally asked not to go, and also asked not to say that I was asked not to go. Everyone around me thinks I'm this a-hole for prioritizing work over my best friend's wedding, and I don't know how to navigate this without losing people. Am I the a-hole? So clearly not.
No.
So clearly not.
No. Go back to your friend's wife
and say,
be
hey,
like,
I have
we're
to tell."
telling them.
Yeah, like this is not fair to me.
It's affecting all of my other relatitions because everybody's
Yes.
getting mad at me.
I didn't kiss him. I didn't
Right.
reciprocate.
He kissed me. I didn't even want to.
Yeah. So either, you need to tell him that you asked me to do this, or I will, because this is not fair.
Yeah.
Edit. He just saw the message I sent and is typing. I'll hopefully update once we've properly spoken. Thank you to everyone giving me such good advice and setting me straight. I'm anxious as F and hoping this goes well, as the wedding is literally this weekend. And we have a pre-party I'll have to prepare for if I'm still counted as a groomsman. Bubblegums Plant says, not the a-hole, but bro, don't do this to yourself and come off as the bad guy. He shouldn't have kissed you. That was disrespectful to his fiance. But his fiance shouldn't be asking you not to tell people either. She needs to own her decisions. You are literally shooting yourself in the foot. Just come clean. Sushi19 says, tell another groomsman why you're not coming. It will get back to the groom without you breaking your promise to the bride, who should not have asked you to keep the secret when you're taking the brunt of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crappy of her. I also hate that peer pressure, just one last time thing, for the record. Ugh. Throwaway. I've never heard of this last kiss tradition at a bachelor or bachelorette parties, and I'm in the US with plenty of married friends in my 30s. I've heard of a-holes cheating on their future spouses at their bachelor/et parties, but not as a tradition. Is this actually a thing? Major Noodle says it's not a thing. Reddit is filled with people who think some super bizarre tradition is something everyone does. There was one post a while back where the poster was complaining about the tradition of the groomsmen and bridesmaids being paired off and acting like they were a couple for the entire night, while they completely ignored their SOs, and the comments were full of people telling OP that's not a real thing. And there is an update, but yeah, definitely tell your friend. Get that off your chest, because you're not the bad
Yeah.
guy. You have done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong.
Zero wrong.
Nothing wrong. You were one of the people that was like, don't do this, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
And your friend and his partner have put you in the middle of their argument.
Right.
Which is so unfair.
Terrible.
Updates. 2 days later. Hi, everyone. Thanks for all the advice on my original post, because I genuinely never expected it to go off like that, and it's allowed me to rethink my actions. Anywho, I did promise to update after talking to my best friend, so here it is. After reading through all of the comments and some private messages, I realized my approach was wrong and wasn't fair to him, or myself, to be fair. It was honestly making me look like the worst MF on the planet. So I ended up sending him a long text explaining the actual reasons why, starting from the kiss last weekend to his fiance asking me not to come because of it, also very loosely mentioning that she didn't want me to tell him about it. After reading many comments, I did feel like a wuss for complying in the first place, but I don't know, I still felt guilty about even telling him that and breaking her trust. He didn't text back for ages, but called me almost immediately when he saw it. He wasn't yelling or anything, but I could hear that he was really emotional. First, he apologized like 10 times for the kiss. He said he thought it would just be a dumb laugh for the guys, and didn't realize how much it crossed a line for both me and his fiance. He also said he never wanted me to feel uncomfortable, and admitted he had been drinking way too much that night. I told him I completely understood and forgave him for that, at least on my end. Then, when I told him about his fiance's request, there was a long silence. It's slightly off topic here, but I was eating pistachios and the sharp bit of the shell cut my lip a bit, and it was so hard to keep quiet. But I had my super serious convo cap on, so anyways, that is hard. When you like stab yourself and you're like,
I like that was included.
that's funny. He just kept repeating like, she didn't tell me that. She didn't tell me that. I swear she didn't tell me that. He said he wished she'd talk to him directly instead of going around him, and that he hated how everything looked. He also said he had been the one to give her my number as I had hers, but never texted her, but thought it was for some surprise plan or present she was planning on giving him. That's really sad. After we talked, his fiance texted me apologizing for putting me in that position, but she still stood by that she personally did not want me there. She said she didn't want to be thinking about that on her wedding day, and while she wasn't mad at me, she just needed the peace of mind. Which would have been fine if you hadn't asked OP to keep it a secret, because clearly
Right.
you didn't think it was okay if you made OP keep it a secret.
That still is a big ask, though,
It
to just
is.
take an entire groomsman out of the
Groomsman.
thing a week before the wedding.
Yeah, huge thing. To cut a long story short, I'm going. My best friend told me he wanted me there, but also said he understood if I didn't want to push it with his fiance. But he repeatedly said he wanted me there more than anything. I told him I loved him and supported him and I'd go, and that I was sorry for ever considering not going. He cried. I cried, like effing babies, but it ended well enough. Our mutual friends and groomsmen, I'm guessing, are still kind of salty with me because they don't know the real story. That's so unfair.
No, you should get to say the real
You
story
should-
now.
That's
Even,
ridiculous.
like,
you don't even have to like blame it on the wife or something.
Right.
You could just say, hey, there's,
there was like something that came up when I was asked to step back.
yeah, but like it wasn't,
Miscommunication.
yeah, this is
And I'm
so
going
ridiculous.
now.
And I'm not about to spread it around as it's not my relationship and not my drama to share. My best friend did tell me he'll clear the air as soon as possible prior to the wedding. But until then, I'm just going to take the L on looking like a flaky effing a-hole. Thank you very, very, very effing sincerely to everyone that helped me change my mind. And I'm honestly so effing glad I put it on here because I could have very well been an effing knob and missed my own best friend's wedding. It's this weekend and we have a pre-party which I'm officially involved with once more, which is great. Thanks so much again. And thank you for listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. I hope that, it seems like it's better. Seems like you had that conversation.
Yeah. I think, the fact that you're going is great.
Yeah.
I hope he talked to his fiance about that before he just did it.
Yeah.
And
Because
there,
it seems like she's still not.
right.
okay
Still
with
not
it.
comfortable with it, but he's just like, you're coming. Which it's like, okay, that's their whole problem to figure out now, but
Yeah.
it's kind of just like, messy.
It's really messy.
messy.
And like, it's not like you're going anywhere. You're still going to be his best friend.
Yeah.
And I am wondering, like, again, to be clear, I'm not like saying that she's in the wrong for any of this, or well, for being uncomfortable
Right.
specifically. She is in the wrong for other things. But I am wondering why it affected her that deeply.
I mean,
Like to the point where she's like, oh, I don't even, because it feels like she thinks that there's something going on there.
I
and
don't even
that's what I'm
think that.
wondering.
I
I don't
think
know.
maybe she just wasn't expecting him to want to kiss anybody. So then
Yeah.
just the fact that he kissed someone, and maybe
Yeah.
it was already beyond their bounds to even kiss a male
Absolutely.
friend.
Yeah.
And
Well,
she
it
was
seems
just
so.
kind of like, considering it, and rightfully so,
Yeah.
like a form of cheating,
Yeah.
and didn't really know how to take it out. And instead
Yeah.
of going to her husband with it, was like,
Went around him.
the easiest way out
Yeah.
of this is he's the one that's upsetting me. I will uninvite him.
Yeah, but there are some comments. Necessary Tap says, I think both you and your friend are delusional if you think this will end well for any of you in the future. It doesn't matter who is wrong between the two of them. What matters is they are taking the most important step in a relationship at odds over who should or shouldn't be there. Whether she is obvious about it on the day of the wedding, she is going to eventually make him choose between his marriage or your friendship. Every time she sees you, knowing you're hanging out with him or looks at wedding photos, the wound will be reopened. You and your friendship with him are the victims of his stupidity and her reaction. Bonus points for him not knowing that disclosing the situation to your friends won't make the situation worse. There's nothing like humiliating the bride right before or after the wedding to kickstart a marriage if you think your friends are upset with you. Just wait until their anger turns to her. He's going to be forced to choose between his friends and her. There's no way she's going to put up with him hanging out with people who hate her. Phoenix Reed says, you said everything I was thinking but couldn't find the words for. This situation is far from over, and it's just a matter of who's going to look like the bad guy and which relationship will suffer and burn, especially because the friends are also part of what's going on, even if they don't know the full story. So either OP will lose friends because they think he's flaky, or he'll tell the truth and they'll be mad with the wife. And the wife will never be friendly with you, OP. She was mad at you for the kiss situation, and I can assure you she's fuming and feeling humiliated that her fiancé overrode her and re-invited you to the wedding. And your friend is for sure feeling pressure from his fiancé, and it'll only get worse. This situation might have been better played out when it wasn't so close to the wedding, because then people could have had a chance to hash it out properly and figure out what to do. But so close to the wedding now, it'd be too much of a spectacle to try to sort all of the feelings. So pride is going to add another layer to the crap show of emotions. Professor Distinct says, also, you know what to do when the priest says, you may kiss the bride. Boogaloo Bandit says, whoa, now this ain't. This my band name says 10 out of 10 would watch this show. Polar Cat says, I read this to my fiancé, and he was wondering why she's mad at you and not the friends that pressured him to essentially cheat on his fiancé. Where is their invitation rejection? You're literally the victim in this situation, and she's taking it out on you. So true.
So true.
So true.
I feel like there's a lot of what ifs too.
Yeah.
Like not what ifs, but like a lot of factors.
Yeah,
That could change
situational.
elements of this.
100%.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah. Like again, also the fact that the wedding is a week away, I guarantee you she's super stressed and like high emotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that definitely plays into the factor there. Again, it's so weird that OP was like the fall guy.
Yeah, literally. But I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, it's not like weird in the sense like that does happen a lot.
Do you think the
where
wife?
like the third party gets scapegoated.
Do you even think the wife is like not necessarily looking for an out per se, but like
No,
I don't think she's
I don't
looking
think
for an
so.
out.
I
I
don't
think
think
she's
she's reaching that
genuinely just
far.
hurt.
Yeah, I think she's
Yeah.
hurt and she doesn't want to blame it on her husband or fiance because she's
And
about to
she's
marry him. And
Mad
so she's
that
like,
he kissed
okay,
someone.
let's point it on him. My fiance's scam cost us our entire life savings, and he lied to cover it up.
this man's just full of lies.
My fiance was selling his old mountain bike online. Someone messaged him with an offer and said they would send the funds in advance, then have their cousin pick up the bike the next day. My fiance had promised me he would only accept pickup in person with cash in hand. By the way, this comes from throwaway account 424, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon, and you're probably questioning why I'm wearing these glasses.
We have allergies collectively, and they suck.
Something's in the air.
Pollen. And we're here to give good advice goofily regardless. But we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for context, in Canada, the main way and safest way to transfer funds is through your bank. It's tied to your account, and you can only transfer what you actually have in the account, and there's a daily limit. It's also tied to your identity since it's connected to your bank account. My fiance told the buyer he would accept a transfer. That is when the scam started. The buyer sent the transfer but accidentally added an extra zero to the amount. My fiance told the buyer he would transfer it back since it was a mistake. The buyer then claimed he was locked out of his bank due to the mistake and asked my fiance to transfer the money to his cousin's account. My fiance did it. I have no idea why my fiance sent back the whole amount instead of just subtracting the payment for the bike. Then the buyer sent out another transfer and the same thing happened. Next, the buyer asked my fiance to use a different app that starts with a P, since he was still locked out of his bank account. He sent the money again, but with another extra zero and doubled it. My fiance once again sent back the funds. The buyer then asked if my fiance would take a check. They arranged to meet in person with the buyer's cousin, who gave my fiance a check for more than the agreed amount, calling it bonus for the trouble. My fiance deposited the check and even tried to use some of the funds. It turned out that the first transfer was from a stolen account due to identity theft, and it was reversed. The funds from the other app were also from a stolen account and were reversed. The check was fake and clawed back by the bank. On top of this, the transfers my fiance made to pay back the scammer were gone for good. Our entire savings account is gone. Everything we had saved for a down payment is gone. We were looking for a house, and now all of that is gone. I did not find out until after the fact. I get alerts anytime there's a transaction on our savings account, but my fiance deleted them. I do shift work, so I was asleep and he went into my phone to delete the texts because he did not want me to find out he broke his promise about only accepting cash. I am so angry. I'm not an angry guy in general, but I am furious. We have been dealing with the bank and the app. No success. We took all the messages and even doorbell cam footage to multiple levels of police. It did not change anything. The bank says my fiance voluntarily made the transfers and cannot reverse them. The money is gone. Because of the fake check, our savings account was closed. My fiance's personal account was closed too. The bank told him to take his business elsewhere and that they will not provide mortgage services to us. My personal account is safe since I used a different bank, but it doesn't matter. We lost our down payment, our future house, and even our wedding venue because we had to cancel it just to get the deposit back so we could afford July rent. I warned my fiance that anyone claiming they could recover the money is lying. I will ignore them, and so should he. I'm devastated. I know it was just money. Okay, well, but it feels like a nightmare I cannot wake up from. More than the money, my fiance broke my trust. He lied to me, broke his promise, and hid everything. Right now, I do not even recognize him. Thanks for listening. Any advice, please? Malignant Indignant says, yeah, obviously no success. They literally warn you 10 plus times per app not to do this. They're not giving you anything. That money is long gone. Deleted says, I actually got to watch something similar in real time. The guy at the bank kept insisting he needed to transfer money to someone who was clearly scamming him. The teller went round and round with him that it was obviously a scam. He insisted it wasn't. He wanted the money. A supervisor came over and also went round and round. The guy eventually said he knew it might be a scam, but he wanted the money in case it wasn't. Finally, the supervisor told him they'd give him the money, but then they would close his account because he was willingly participating in fraud.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's like, I know it's a scam, but I want the money.
He said that was fine. So they gave him a cashier's check for all the money in his account and closed his account. Sometimes you can't save people. 2 cents worth for you says, I was that teller. What? I tried to help a long-time customer who just got through a divorce and had a huge chunk of change from the settlement. She got caught up in a romance scam. She never met Romeo in person, but developed a relationship virtually. They were initially introduced by someone whom she met on a cruise. Romeo was military, so he couldn't have social media. The amount of lies and reasons she believed that she was fed was staggering. He needed her help to get his share of pay of $2.1 million out of Afghanistan. All she had to do was send $8,000 to a person. She made a Western Union transfer of the amount. I asked her if she knew this person. She said no. I told her that she's being scammed. I did a stop to the transfer and managed to recover that money for her. She took all the info I gave her and left for the day. She returned a couple of days later, stating she needed another $50,000 transferred because customs had this container quarantined. She showed me pictures of it that the customs officer sent her. I asked to see the email address. Everything she showed me screamed of scammers. The email wasn't legit. She's getting so much pressure and guilt tripping from everyone too. I tried with everything I had to get her to see reason, but eventually we closed her accounts and she went elsewhere. I always wondered if she snapped out of it or got fleeced. Salt Operation said I would be rethinking my entire relationship if my partner did something this foolish.
I'm sorry. I think that's the first time we've ever seen
like a commenter be like, yeah, that was, well, I don't know. Maybe they just had a very similar experience, but sounds pretty similar.
I mean, I think scams happen more common than you think. So if you're listening to this story and you know, come on. Don't be so trusting with that big of money.
Do not be trusting about sending large amounts of money or just any money. That's why like apps like Venmo will have, the phone verification.
Or like, are you sure you want to send this to this person? Or same thing with the other one.
Be careful where you send your information. Be careful what websites you're buying from.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you are using your savings account with your partner, maybe you should clear that with them first.
Yeah. I have a friend who bought some shoes online on a very sketchy website recently, and I was like, okay.
Even if it's and again, Amazon, even then it happens.
Yeah.
It
careful. I think that actually the best thing to do is to always keep an eye on your credit card.
Yep.
And just check on your purchases.
I do that all the time.
I do it all the time. I always check on my purchases. I'm like, okay, do I recognize these things?
Even if it was $2, I'm like, I didn't buy that.
Yeah.
Or if I I was that petty. I would call the bank and be like, listen, $15. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, 1,000,000,000% wasn't me. Cancel that card.
Yeah.
Send me a new one. I don't like that.
Absolutely. But there's an update.
Yeah.
15 months later.
Oof.
It's been a rough year, but I, male 32, wanted to post an update because so many people were helpful and supportive in what was a dark time. My fiance David, male 33, had promised me he would only take cash in person when selling his old mountain bike. I don't know why he accepted advance payments from someone he never met. I don't know why he kept taking electronic payments when there were so many problems. I don't know why he took a check instead of cash when he met the buyer in person. He lied to me about that. He also tried to hide it from me when the money started to be clawed back. He turned off the text alerts options from our bank when I was sleeping, so I didn't realize what was going on or that money was getting clawed back. Losing the money when we were in the middle of looking for a house was devastating. What was even more devastating was David lying and trying to hide this from me. Between his lying, acting like this wasn't a big deal, losing our down payment, and having to cancel our wedding venue to get our deposit back so we could pay our rent, my relationship with David fell apart. I was so angry with him. I've spent the last year dealing with the police, the bank, and the other app, and all of the wedding vendors we had to cancel on. The police say it is a common scam, and David wasn't the only victim they know about. Even worse than all of that was David lying to me and doing this and not realizing he was being tricked out of our money. David and I had moved out here a few years ago because the house prices were the lowest in the country. By the way, we've got the highest amount of full episode stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I mean, we saw it coming. We both
Oh,
agreed.
yeah.
If someone did this, if our partners did this,
It's done.
it
It's
does suck.
done.
It does suck. And the
Yeah.
fact that the police said it's more common than you think. Again, if you are listening
Yeah.
to this story, do not be one of those people getting scammed.
Yeah, I mean, don't be ashamed if you have been scammed, but like, don't lie to your partners. Don't, double check your accounts. If someone says they're related to you and they're texting you from an unknown number, let's fact check in person with these people. There's so many scams. There's like a
Even if you do
there's
know
an
people
email
like that,
scam.
even if you know people like that,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we're like acquaintances.
Yeah.
Be careful with your money.
Careful, yeah.
Oh man,
There's
it's
so many
bad.
scams out there where people will text you and be like, hey, this is your mom or this is your aunt or blah, blah, blah. And can you Venmo me some money? Can you send me some money?
Yeah,
And
I'm like,
especially if
no.
it's a text thing,
Oh,
you got the Apple Pay now.
Oh yeah,
you
that
can, you can
that's
send Apple money.
so common now. I hate it because it's like an awful. But thankfully my dad, even my dad's smart enough to be like, do you know what this is? What's
Yeah.
this about? I'm like, don't respond to that. Delete it. If you don't know the person,
Yeah, my
you don't
mom
even
was-
know the person.
Don't do it.
Do it.
I have to. There was a scam that my mom was here. My mom just texted in September. She's end of September. She said, there are tons of scam calls. So if either of you get a scam call claiming to be from Citibank or any other bank, hang up and immediately call your bank to verify. Banks never call you. That was just one that from recently. I don't answer any calls of people I don't know. So
The funniest ones were like,
won't hurt me.
it's like a bank that I never use.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like, this is not even my bank.
and the first time I got that, I was like, do I have a Chase account? I even asked my
Yeah.
parents, like, do I have this bank?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay, great, good to know.
Yeah. After we broke up, I heard David moved back to his home province. I'm staying here. I have a life here, a good job, and I'm not exactly on the best of terms with my family, but having to start over from scratch after what David did was hard. The last year was a dark time. Not the worst in my life, but close. David tried to say I was victim blaming him because I was angry. He said he tried to hide what happened because he was ashamed, and that's why we're breaking up. But he destroyed my trust and our relationship. Some days I still can't believe this happened. In short, my relationship with David is over. I had to find a new place to live. Our savings were lost, and I'm starting over from scratch. I'll be okay, but it was a hard year. Char Zero says, you weren't victim blaming, you were idiot blaming. Nick McSpear says, this is such an old scam too, not even new or clever. Odd Instruction says, this sort of thing is why people should have a separate account for day-to-day expenses, preferably in a different bank from saving accounts. And that's the end of that story, folks. But be careful with your money and break up with people who scam you and lie to you about the scams.
I refuse to invite my step uncle Now my grandma is boycotting my wedding.
Protest, protest.
I, 24 female, am getting married to my fiance, 25 male, in October 26th of this year. For the most part, wedding planning has been fine, but recently there's been some drama. Before we really get into it, I gotta provide some context. By the way, this comes from Rude Needleworker 98, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley,
I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments down below. OP continues. My parents, 57 female and 56 male, are still together. They've been married for over 20 years. I have an older brother, 30 male, who I'm fairly close to despite our age gap. We'll call him John. Here's where it gets a bit complex. My dad's parents divorced when he was young. Both got remarried. My biological grandma lives out of the state, so she isn't really involved in this, nor is her new husband. My biological grandpa, who we'll call Garrett, is married to my dad's stepmom, Darla. So they've been together for ages. So my dad basically grew up with two sets of parents in a way. Garrett and Darla are involved in this, my grandpa and my step-grandma. Before Garrett and Darla were married, Darla was married to someone and had a kid with him. He passed away, and so Garrett formally adopted the kid to his own when he married Darla. The kid would be my step-uncle. We'll call him Albert. My dad and Albert grew up together as brothers. For the most part, my dad was a bit older than Albert, but not by much. Garrett used to be in the Navy, so my dad was always interested in serving his country as well. He became a Marine and ended up serving active duty during the Gulf War. This unfortunately left my dad with severe PTSD. My uncle Albert also became a Marine, but never saw active combat. This is important for later. For me growing up, I was never close with Albert and his family. He married a woman and had 2 kids with her shortly after my dad married my mom. Most of us didn't get along with the woman he married, and we bared it for the sake of the family. The only time I'd really see Albert was during holidays, when we'd all gather at Garrett and Darla's house. My brother was closer to Albert than I was, mostly because I was the youngest and a girl. Albert and my brother bonded over manly things and the fact that Albert was a firefighter. My brother wanted to be a firefighter too when he grew up, so Albert would take him to the station and spend time with him. But for me, I was never that close to him. Fast forward a few years, and my brother John became a firefighter and became working with Albert at the same fire station. With my dad having severe PTSD, there have been several incidents where we have had to call an ambulance for him, and more often than not, my brother and Albert's station would show up. I think Albert began to despise my dad after these incidents in a way. The other firefighters would sort of joke and make fun of my dad, calling him crazy, etc. I think Albert was embarrassed or something, so he joined in. Pretty awful considering both of them were Marines and Albert knew that my dad saw some messed up stuff in the war. Albert didn't care though. This kind of thing went on for a few years and all came to a head a few years ago. One night at the fire station, Albert cheated on his wife with the young paramedic at the fire station on the clock, giving on the clock.
Whoa, mister.
Tell
Hey.
him that.
That was good, but you
Didn't
gotta
pay for it.
you
Tell him
gotta
that.
censor yourself.
No, he's a little excited. He's a little jumpy.
Yeah.
He wasn't expecting, he did hit a 2x for 5 minutes.
That
That's why.
explains it.
He's a little
Yeah.
curt.
Super mad.
But Albert, my goodness, dude, that's crazy. Crazy.
Wife found out about it, went straight to the chief, and Albert got suspended. His wife filed for divorce. All the good things. Somehow, and it's honestly still a mystery, my grandpa, Garrett, found out about this and reached out to Albert. Albert asked him how he found out. My grandpa Garrett told him my brother, John, is the one who told him. John insisted that he wasn't the one who told him, especially since due to a shift change, he rarely saw Albert at the firehouse anymore. Albert didn't believe John, and the two of them got into this big fight and cut contact with each other. When my brother got married, he didn't invite Albert, but did invite his ex-wife. Petty stuff. This made Albert even angrier. I think Darla was upset about this, but didn't say much. Last year, my dad's PTSD got the worst it's ever gotten. He had to be taken in and admitted to a facility. It all went down in a pretty traumatic way, and we honestly weren't sure if he'd come out of it alive. This really upset me, my mom, and my brother. Fast forward to when he was released, we were all overjoyed. So were Garrett and Darla, but not Albert. Albert was livid, and he made sure the entire firehouse knew about it. It pissed off my brother. Dude, what is this? Why are you mad at your bro that's got PTSD?
For real. For real. Like, if it's so serious, I mean, obviously it's always serious, but if it's so serious to the point where he's been going to the hospital multiple times, and especially this last time was more dangerous than others, it sounds like this is not something that we're just gonna point and laugh at. This is something that needs to be taken so seriously.
Albert, you were the one given wiener on the meter. Someone did that. Someone else did that. That was great. Wait, can you scroll up a little bit?
See who it was?
Sandman.
Sandman, dude.
Sandman.
That was so good.
That was really
I think
good.
somebody else had somebody.
Oh, yeah?
Am I crazy? No, maybe that was it.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Gosh.
My dad became really good friends with an older man, late 80s, another veteran he met at a sport group. We'll call him Reagan. My dad and Reagan were really close, and often my brother would join them in whatever activities they do together, shooting, yard work, etc. Unfortunately, about a year into their friendship, Reagan was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So he tried to spend a lot more time with my dad and John. One day he came to the fire station looking for John, who must have been off that day. Instead, Albert was the one who came out and talked to Reagan. The topic of my dad came up, and Albert proceeded to cuss him out, get in his face, etc. The poor man was mortified. Albert continued to trash talk my dad at the fire station for weeks. This made my immediate family, mom, dad, John, and I, cut ties with him completely. Holidays were awkward. John and I practically hate the guy. I know, that was a lot, but now you know the context. Here's the main part.
What? We haven't gotten to the main part yet.
This is like the first 3 movies of Star Wars before we got to meet Luke.
That's.
Okay, what else would it have been then, Keon?
It's more so Anakin's story over Luke's story, but Luke's a detrimental part of the Star Wars lore. I mean, we love the hero's journey.
Actually, I think it's about Princess Leia.
I mean, yes, also very detrimental to the hero's journey.
Actually,
I think it was about Han Solo and how cool he is.
actually, I think it's about the freaking droids, dude.
Oh, man. I got engaged.
How dare you talk my stuff?
All the love to you, Keon. All love to you and your Star Wars loving self.
Right.
I got engaged to my fiance in November of last year. And so we've been wedding planning a lot. Finally last month we sent out our invitations. My mom wanted the RSVPs sent back to her since she was responsible for the final head count. My grandpa, Garrett, and Darla received their invitations, and not long after, Darla texted my mom. She asked if we were planning to invite Albert and his fiancé. And you'll never guess who it is. Yep, the paramedic he cheated on with his wife to the wedding.
Oh.
H-E double hockey sticks, no!
Oh my gosh.
Okay, if you do cheat, stay with the person you cheated with.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
If you're going to commit. Don't just half commit.
Yeah, at least they can save each other from cheating on other people in the world.
Yeah. Once a cheater, always a cheater, so stay with the person you cheated with. Or stay with the person you cheated on.
And then just have like an open relationship.
Wait,
Or something.
stay with the person you were with as you cheated on someone.
Sure. That works.
My mom responded back, telling Darla we didn't plan on inviting them. My mom didn't get a response. Instead, my grandpa Garrett showed up to my parents' house and told them that Darla is very upset we're not inviting Albert to the wedding. My parents tried to explain the situation to him, and while Garrett understands, he also understands where Darla is coming from, since Albert is her biological son. We refused to budge, telling Garrett that after everything Albert has done, he doesn't deserve to be part of this family. He doesn't deserve to be a part of this day, especially since it's my wedding and I've never been close with him to begin with. Instead of telling us herself, Darla then proceeds to have Garrett tell my parents that she's thinking of not going to the wedding either. Okay.
Right. Maybe we didn't want you.
Nah, we want Darla. We love Darla. So let's just make it a stand.
Darla, how loyal you are to your family.
Yeah.
Ah.
Just got like, come on. You can't just keep trash talking a person that's going through PTSD.
Yeah, dude. You really got to understand why we're doing that and why we're not inviting Albert. Like, he's just been so insanely disrespectful, and we just don't want him around on such a happy day. But we want you around because you're not.
Yeah, Darla, we love you. We just don't love that dude and his
Yeah.
paramedic.
Please understand.
At first, we were thinking she just was upset and needs time, but she persisted. This was last week. Today, I went out for dinner with my mom and got some updates, and needless to say, I am livid. I guess Garrett tried to explain his situation, where we were all coming from, to Darla, who apparently had no idea any of this happened and was shocked. She asked Albert about it, and of course, he denied it all, claiming innocence. My dad was really upset about Darla potentially not coming to the wedding, so he reluctantly came up with an idea. He decided to extend an olive branch, telling Darla that he'd be willing to sit down with Albert, John, and Garrett and talk it all out. Darla agreed, but when she reached out to Albert, he refused. He told her that he never wanted to speak to John again, and that if he saw my dad, he'd have trouble holding back everything he wanted to say to him.
Bruh, let's leave the dad alone, guys. Albert, what's your freaking deal, dude?
This is kind of smart, though.
What is your freaking deal? I just don't get why Albert is has so much beef with that guy. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Good, because you should listen to your favorite podcast platform on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple. Just look up OK Storytime and deplete the beef. Come on.
Now, where's the beef?
Where's the beef? It's on your favorite platform. Your favorite podcast platform.
So, he said he had secrets about my dad that he'd tell Garrett. My dad told Garrett that he knows all the secrets and wouldn't care as long as they figured out something. But Albert refused to talk about it. Despite this, Darla is still threatening not to come to the wedding. Frankly, even if my dad did talk it out with Albert, I still wouldn't want him there, which is my decision. Darla hasn't said anything to me at all about any of this. I haven't spoken to her since sending out the invites, but I know she's upset and thinks my mom and I are wrong for not inviting her only biological son. My dad told Darla that if she doesn't come to the wedding, he's cutting her off. This whole situation upsets me and is stressing everyone out. I don't know what to do, but I know I'm not inviting that man to my wedding. So, am I the a-hole? I understand where Darla's coming from, but I think she actually knew the truth about Albert's shenanigans.
Yeah.
Can Reagan say something?
Right?
Is
Yeah,
Reagan
that's a great
around
question.
still?
It's a great
I'd ask him.
question. Someone has got to get through to Albert that, that Albert will actually listen to.
Yeah, I don't think Albert, we already know Albert's out. It's just convincing Darla now.
Yeah, I guess so.
My sister made all of our siblings bridesmaids except me.
Because you would have been too pretty.
I, 31 female, am the oldest of 5 sisters. 30 female, 27 female, Zoe, 23 female, and 21 female. I like that only one of them got a name.
There's only one that is relevant. Zoe.
I'm scared.
Zoe 101.
Other than the usual mild sister antics, teasing, nagging, clothes stealing, and other minor drama, we all grew up very close. By the way, this comes from Empath1994, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
Why'd that take so long?
I almost forgot.
You forgot
Didn't
your
know his
name?
I thought it was you.
Oh, okay, Dakota. I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my background. I joined the military and moved away at 18 years old when sister Zoe was only 10 years old. While stationed in Florida, I had my son in 2017. And despite my best and very expensive legal efforts, I have been unable to leave the state and move home to Kentucky until my son, 8 male, turns 18, which will be in 2035. I try to visit home as often as I can, stay involved in Secret Santas, birthdays, Mother's Days, etc. I keep in touch via social media as well without being the overly annoying big sister. My 30 female sister was the first of us to get married back in 2018. And although the girls under 21 weren't included in some of the more mature bachelorette events, All 4 of us were bridesmaids for my sister, and she had 4 additional bridesmaids as well, 8 wedding party pairs in total. Less than 2 months later, tragedy struck when our devoted dad, husband, love of our mom's life for over 30 years, rock of our family, and well-known member of our community passed of a sudden first-time heart attack as a healthy 53-year-old.
Dang.
No heart disease, healthy weight, no warning. Passed away thinking he had heartburn on Christmas Day. To say this event changed each one of us to a cellular level wouldn't be descriptive enough. We will never be the same. As the oldest sibling and in a long-term relationship of my own, I know just how painful it is to think about planning such a big day while navigating the dad-sized hole in our hearts. Knowing he won't be there to walk us down the aisle, calm nerves, dance with us, and cry at least once. He was such a crybaby when it came to his girls. When Zoe's boyfriend of 7 years was ready to pop the question, he called each of her sisters in lieu of my dad's presence, to which I excitedly gave my blessing and was thrilled. On June 21st, 2025, he proposed. Zoe sent me pictures and a thank you for any part I'd had in the proposal, as she knew he had reached out to me. I gave my congratulations and fawned over the ring and pictures, and shared in her excitement with my mom on FaceTime the day afterwards. Just a couple weeks later, I got a text message. Hey Dana, I want to have a quick chat about something important. When Carter and I started planning the wedding party, we had to keep things really small to keep it balanced. He had 5 close friends picked, and I already had 2 people in mind before we finalized the list. That didn't leave room to include everyone I love and care about, and it was such a tough decision. I hope you know how much you mean to me, and that not being a bridesmaid doesn't change that at all. You're incredibly important to me, and I can't wait to celebrate this day with you. And I think there's an emoji there, and that's the end of that text.
I mean, I think given the context that you left when she was 10 and have been able to come back and won't be able to come back for like another 10 years, I think probably clues into why this might be happening. I think this has been handled perfectly, honestly, by Zoe so far. That text, if I got that text, I'm not a sibling though. Neither of us are.
Hey, sibling boy over there. If you had 3 brothers.
I do.
Okay, and you were the only one not to be a best man.
It depends on my relationship with my brothers. You know, if like
You don't live there for 10 years.
that makes sense. That's straight up. Like if this is the context, like if I put myself in OP's shoes, I got this text. Great. I feel like I'm gonna be involved in some way. Like okay, great. It's again at the end of the day, it's their wedding.
Yeah.
Will I be offended? Slightly. But, like, if I'm not home and everybody else is home and they all have a closer relationship, that's fair.
So, like, I moved away.
Yeah.
And if one of my friends that I was still really close with didn't, like, I would definitely still be hurt about it. So, to clarify, 2 friends and 3 of 4 sisters equals 5 bridesmaids. I'm a pretty strong person, but I was pretty gutted. I never imagined having my own bridal party with more than 4 bridesmaids and any of my sisters not being included. Relationship and closeness at the time aside, if God blesses you with 4 sisters, those are your built-in day ones unless there's a serious reason or toxicity, at least to me. I was the strong one for all of them when my dad passed. The only sister with kids and a nephew that they adore stood up to my 30 female sister when she went politically extreme and was mean to our mom last year after the election. Not to mention my business is doing exceptionally well, and I'd have the means to prove a high-value gift and or help with a little of the wedding cost since my dad can't. And I don't think that you should withhold that because you're not a bridesmaid. If that's something you want to do, I will say, like, if you're then gonna change how you're participating in the wedding because you're hurt that you weren't a bridesmaid,
But
though,
I mean, like, that does, being a bridesmaid or not, does tangibly change how you
not for a
participate
regular
in a wedding,
gift,
right?
though. I think she's still coming to all the bridesmaids events. I mean, we haven't gotten that.
Is
info
she?
yet. I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking about what she said before. All of that on top of the simple fact, she's my second youngest baby sister, and I love her dearly. So why shouldn't I just attend anyway outside of the bridal party? Our family has been in the same small town since before Kentucky even had statehood. My
What?
dad had a successful automotive business, which my mom still has open. And our family is publicly known for having 5 daughters.
What was that about Kentucky, about statehood?
Their family's been in Kentucky before it was a state.
They're pure Kentucky.
They're the
They're
Hatfields and the
Kentucky through and
McCoys.
through.
Or the Hatfield McCoys. We've got a family feud brewing since before the 50 states were 50. They did the bird.
Without giving away our identities, we share a last name with a famous band, Blank 5.
Oh, let me guess. Jackson.
Maroon.
We both went 2 different directions there. And you
There's,
know what?
I
you know,
was-
there's 6 of them in that.
It's letters for Jackson. Like there's a blank, 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 blank. blank, blank.
MARO.
Well, I like how you're like, we're not giving away names, but let's give away our names.
And that was a joking nickname for our little group my entire childhood. In that town, our last name is pretty synonymous with the idea of being 5 daughters, and I genuinely feel like the speculation of leaving just one of us out could potentially cause drama that could outshine the marriage we're there to celebrate.
Isn't she leaving 2 of you out?
No,
Because I thought it was she has 2 friends.
she's the one getting married.
Right. Gotcha.
She's gonna be a
Secret
bride.
math.
Secret extra math.
Extra.
Marriage.
That's the trick question on the algebra test.
Let's be honest, human nature loves drama and curiosity far more than happiness, and I love Zoe enough to want her to have all the attention on her that day. It would be perfectly feasible for me to blame my co-parenting schedule, travel plans of over 1,000 miles, or anything else as a perfect excuse to not attend and avoid the drama for the both of us.
That you not attending would be more dramatic.
Right, that would also cause drama.
Come on. Really?
We're taking this way too far.
Just go to the wedding.
My mom also mentioned she also will be having one of our cousin's little boys acting as her ring bearer instead of her only nephew. While I get it, toddlers are cuter than 8-year-olds, he was the ring bearer for 30 female sisters' wedding in 2018. And we need to forget everything that happened with somebody else's wedding, because this is a new wedding.
This is a different time and a different event. Different place.
Yeah. Again, at the end of the day, it's their wedding.
I get it, she's hurt, but I don't think not going is the correct answer.
Yeah, and I don't think you even really believe that whole it's like we're the Jackson 5. Like there need to be 5 sisters because it's that's who we are. You've been gone for a long time, right?
Right. Have you guys
can't-
really been the 5?
Right.
If you haven't been there?
You know? So it's not like that really holds any water. I mean, would it be that big of a deal for you to have 6 bridesmaids and for him to have 5 groomsmen?
Some people are very particular about that. I don't get it, but
Some people are. Wait, did Opie ever respond to that text?
we didn't get a response.
See, that's okay. That's my question.
I think this is all still reaction from the text.
Because that text was pretty straightforward, but also, I can see it being very heartfelt. The
Yeah.
text that the sister sent. Like, hey, I love you so much.
I think it
I want
was.
you to be a part of this. I just have 5, and you were in my fave 5.
It also could
Sorry.
have been maybe a phone call or something a little more sincere. I could get being I did feel really upset in the moment. This is, to me now, an overreaction. My mom's explanation was, well, she's babysat for them a lot over the years. But I'm still shocked neither one of us will be part of her wedding party. I am trying so hard to not take this personally. But I don't know why she would do this if there wasn't some intention. Weddings with 130 guests have 5+ wedding party couple pairs quite often, and the difference between 5 and 6 bridesmaids standing room is minimal. Anytime I've been a bridesmaid, I've purchased my own dress, accessories, transportation to events, which, since I was never local, was usually only an expense for me. And I do my own hair and makeup. She also stated that Carter had chosen 5 close friends. My guess is Carter doesn't have another friend. But he didn't have one acquaintance that could be a 6th groomsman. If 8-year-old nephew is too cool to be a ring bearer, he could have been my escort and groomsman.
You know what I'm getting a lot from this,
We're
OP?
really grasping now.
I'm getting a lot of me. And I'm not saying you're a selfish person, but all I've been hearing is I.
Well, I think this all goes back to their dad,
Yeah.
you know, and then like the feeling of like being a unit. They said that they were there for everybody when that happened.
I wonder if OP could like walk her down the aisle then or something. Like
I feel
she
like
said she filled in that dad role. I have a feeling their mom probably is.
I
but-
feel like you need to respond to this text and be like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little hurt, but this is your wedding. I love you. I'm happy to be there for you. If there's anything you need me to do or want me to do, I'll be here, kind of thing.
yeah.
You
And
can't do
like
anything else.
go to the freaking wedding. Don't not go because you're not a bridesmaid. That's petty. My mom mentioned she was surprised that Zoe asked 30 female sisters since they aren't that close, but closer than me. But to be honest, if both of her older sisters were left out, I think that would look less intentional since we are substantially older than her. As much as I love Zoe and would love to be included, I don't feel uncomfortable not being a bridesmaid. I feel uncomfortable being the only sister who isn't, and the optics from that.
Gross. You're worried about optics? Bro, gross!
I'm saying she thinks it's like a deep thing. Maybe it is a deep thing, but I think you're just like, you're reading in between the lines. You haven't been home for 10 years. Your relationship with this sister isn't as strong.
Dude, you just don't get it. When you're part of the Maroon family, all right?
The Maroon 5.
All
the Jackson
5 of you
5.
must be present. When you're a Marooner, I got nothing that rhymes with that. Help me, Adam Levine. Help.
But I can help you guys in letting you know that there's full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. Final thoughts, boys? These are great thoughts.
Well, pardon me for collecting myself in the midst of the Maroon 5.
He's still trying to
It
figure
was
out how
because
to.
you guys were still making jokes.
He's still trying to figure
I
out
know,
a rhyme.
you guys were still trying to rhyme.
I was never.
I
He
I'm
was
knew you
not
guys
trying to
were chatting.
rhyme. I know you can rhyme Marooner with
Anyway.
Gooner. I'm just trying to
Baboon.
say.
Thanks, Kat.
I'm
Baboon
trying to figure out
5.
what the real
So-
solution here is.
Yeah. I feel like it's not wrong to be like, hey, I'm pretty hurt that, like, I'm the only one that's not, but I get it, and I'll be there, and I'll support you, and let me know what you need. I think you still have to go to the wedding, and I think that ultimately, like, it is her wedding, and it might really, really hurt, and you guys can still have a conversation to work out that hurt, which I think should happen. But if she doesn't want you to be a bridesmaid, you can't be like, if I'm not a bridesmaid, I'm not coming.
I think again, have a conversation with your sister, telling her like how you feel, but don't tell her what your wants and your needs of like, I think I should do this or this, you should do this. It's just like, hey, I feel like I'm left out and like I'm a little hurt that everyone else is included, but me. Could I be involved a little bit more? Cause I love ya and we're family.
Exactly. I know I need to reply to Zoe's text, but I don't even know where to start. Yep, I was so shocked that she's been left on red for a week.
Girly pop.
I know I'm the a-hole for that. So, should I bail altogether and avoid the risk of drama, or do I attend and let Zoe's chips fall where they may? I have zero intention of causing a scene, or even speaking about this at any of the events, but knowing our loud friends and family and how well known I am as the oldest, I don't think I'll have to. It will be noticed regardless. Thanks for reading in advance. We have some comments. Commenter 1, why not tell her the truth, that you feel incredibly hurt by her decision to leave you out of the wedding party? Commenter 2, if you are hurt and don't want to attend because of that, that's fine. But don't choose not to attend and pretend it's because you're trying to prevent drama, when in fact, you're bringing it. So I say if you want to be there, go and let the chips fall. If you don't want to be there because you're hurt, then don't go. But don't pretend it's because you're doing something good. Commenter 3, if not going is truly about the optics, you can use the same reason for attending as a guest as for not attending at all. You weren't sure how travel plans were going to work with your co-parenting schedule and didn't want to leave Zoe in the lurch. So you thought it was a better idea to attend as a guest. Commenter, so smart. Big
But
brain.
then you're just a liar. You're just being a liar. But
She's
I don't
saving the optics.
understand.
Saying that you're not going to go because of travel is still lying.
Big shot, small town family optics are so out of my purview of knowledge.
Your what?
My purview.
All right.
If it is about hurt feelings, only you can decide if they are worth missing your sister's wedding for. As you said, you love her, and that is a decision you won't be able to take back. And while it may not cause community drama, it will cause family drama. Commenter 4. Tell her the truth, that you love her and we're excited to support her through her wedding. But this decision is extremely hurtful and has you questioning your relationship. My unpopular opinion is that it's naive to have the attitude that the bride can do whatever she wants without consequences. Weddings do involve family dynamics, and it's incredibly cruel to single out one sister for the sake of an even bridal party. Yes, she can leave you out, and yes, you can tell her how you feel. Ultimately, you two need to have that discussion before you make any declaration about attending or not. And that is the end of that story.
Discussions must be had.
Yeah, I think answer your sister. It's been a week.
Yeah, at that point, she already knows something's wrong.
Right, and I'm sure if your family talks as much as you're saying, your mom immediately went to your sister and told her.
This is not a secret anymore.
I doubt it.
This is knowledge that is known.
But I think you should still go even if you're a guest. And I think the commenter's advice of being like, yeah, like it really just wasn't going to work out with not knowing if I would 100% be here or not. So I'm just going to be a guest.
Why can't that just be the solution? Just be the guest, be present,
Be the guest.
enjoy,
Be the guest.
be
But
her
that
guest.
is the end of that story. And we have another one coming up.
My friend is pregnant with my fiance's baby and wants me to raise it.
That ain't gonna happen.
I'm in a situation that seems so surreal. I don't know what to think of it. I have a best friend. We've been friends for 12 years and she's been more than a sister to me. We share everything and we've been together through a lot. I also have a fiance and we all share the same social circle, a large group of friends. I've been with my fiance for 4 years now, and last year in June, we welcomed our beautiful baby boy.
Ooh.
By the way, this comes from user A Gemma. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. It's me, I'm Riley.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in those sweet, sweet comments.
Please.
OP says, there were a lot of complications and I had surgery due to those issues. I stayed in the hospital for a month and was on bed
Dang.
rest for the next few weeks.
Dang.
In August, one of our friends had a wedding about 8 hours away. I couldn't attend because it was quite a hustle considering I wasn't well and the baby was still too young, but my fiance attended. So did my best friend and a large part of our group.
Oh.
After the wedding, my best friend drove back with my fiance, stayed with me for 3 days, and then had to go back to work in another city. I didn't see her for months. Everything went back to normal. I went back to work and everything seemed fine. I talked to her like usual and that was that. Fast forward to this week.
Oh,
I came home from
no.
work and guess who? My best friend, heavily pregnant, due at any time now. Her due date is the 16th. I welcomed her, got her settled in, everything was fine. We had dinner and started catching up. I didn't want to pry too much because I figured if she wanted to tell me details about her pregnancy, she would. So I told her we had to make plans, go out, shop, eat, normal stuff. Then I asked when she'd be leaving so we could make the most of the time we had. She proceeded to tell me she wasn't leaving. I was confused and asked again. She again stated she wasn't leaving. I asked her why, and her answer, oh my God, the baby is my fiance's. I was left speechless. Then she said she's thought about it and she's not ready for motherhood, so she came to deliver, stay for 4 months while she heals and rests, then she'll leave the baby here and go. At this point, I felt like cameras were hidden somewhere and it was a prank. Understandable.
Yeah.
I was half expecting her to say it was a joke, but no, she was as serious as a heart attack, which I was sort of having. I didn't know what to do, how to react, whether to scream or yell or kick her out. So I just left, went to my room, and locked myself in. I couldn't sleep either. I haven't talked to my fiance yet. He works as a sales rep, and most of the week he's away. So what do I do? Currently it's Saturday, the busiest day at the office, and I can't even think straight. How do I navigate this situation?
Well, I think first of all, I think you do need to talk to fiance.
Yeah.
Because there is a world where your best friend is crazy and she never slept with your fiance.
I hope so. I kind of
Maybe.
hope that, that'd still suck. But
Still
it'd
bad.
suck marginally less
Yeah, at
because it
least
means at
it's-
least your fiance did not cheat on you.
Yeah, it's like one rather than losing 2 people.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Uh.
How do I navigate this situation? Yeah. First step is talk.
Yeah.
After that, I have no idea.
No
Talk,
clue.
hope that your best friend is crazy, and go from there.
Maybe go get the support of your family and other friends.
Yeah, dude, because they have a baby. They have like a baby that's born.
A born baby.
They have a born baby. That was like the thing. She was in the hospital. That's why she couldn't go to the wedding.
Matt Damon. They have a born.
Yeah, there is an update.
Yeah.
But I think the only way to navigate is just like
Hey,
get morted. Yeah.
I found out something.
Brother, call that office. I don't
Yeah.
care that it's Saturday then.
No, you got to get in there.
But also take time to yourself.
Yes.
Okay, the update. Well, thank you all for the advice and support. It's really been helpful and it's good to know I'm not going crazy. Sorry the previous post was long and not well written. So here's the update. I left work at 1, got home, took my kid and house help to my neighbor who I've grown close to and sometimes help me out when the house help is off duty. When I came back, she was sleeping, completely oblivious to the fact that she just turned my life upside down. Then the piece of crap fiance came home and I confronted them. Apparently, I'm that dumb because tell me why they tell me they had been together since before. And since she became pregnant, he goes to see her every other week and supports her, pays her rent, buys her food, everything. They said I wasn't supposed to find out. The now ex-fiance got mad at my ex-best friend for coming over to tell me and all that BS. We had an argument and I blew up at both of them. I chased them out, threw them out, and locked the door behind them. I was honestly expecting more of a fight because I was ready to mess that man up. All that time wasted thinking we were building something together. I mean, it's a lot. I'm really angry and disappointed, but I think it's all going to be good because I don't need that kind of baggage right now. I have a lot to think about and a lot to go through. His mother just called a few hours ago. I didn't pick up. I don't want to deal with that BS right now. So fair. So fair. I know she's going to defend him, say just give him a chance, or it's not wrong. I don't know what they're going to try to say to me, but I don't want to hear it right now. They're very traditional. Don't see anything wrong with cheating or having another child with another woman.
Wait,
I don't
sorry,
think that's what traditional
What?
means.
They're very traditional. They're very traditional.
I
They
guess,
don't see
like,
anything wrong with that.
I guess the only thing I can think of is if you're so traditional that you're not like divorced, but they're not even married.
Yeah.
If you are like so traditional to the point of like whatever relationship you get in, you're in it.
Forever. Who cares if
Forever.
they cheated?
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, they're so traditional that they're okay with cheating and also having a baby outside of marriage.
They're like,
What tradition is this? They're like, it's just our tradition.
yeah.
We've been doing it for a couple years.
Oh my goodness. It's common and I'm just really mad. I haven't talked to either of them, but I'm pretty sure they went to his home, which is not very far away, like 2 hours from here. So I'm here in bed typing. My son just wants to bed. I'm really not taking any calls or anything to do with them right now. I just want to enjoy the peace while it lasts because tomorrow I won't. I want to have a moment of peace. So much for Mother's Day. I was hoping for something celebratory, not this kind of drama. I never expected this, but I'm good and can't waste any more energy on that man. He's not worth it. I know he's not worth it. I also can't ask my mom for support because she'll say I should just stay for the sake of marriage and all that BS.
But
So
y'all
I'm not
aren't
taking her right
married.
You're not married.
Isn't the whole point that this is your fiance?
You're not
Am I
married.
crazy?
No, you're not crazy.
Am I crazy?
You're not crazy. Anyone who's going to try to tell me to just forgive him, I'm going to tell them to shove it where the sun doesn't shine. That's all for now. I'm just going to enjoy my peace and my cup of tea. Thank you guys so much. There is an update. Hi guys, it's been quite a while since I posted, so here's the update. But first of all, thank you all for your support and comments. You really helped me gain clarity in this situation. So, after I kicked them out, they went to stay at his parents' place. So not his home. Oh, I guess his home? Like if you, the tech terminology, like his, whatever. Apparently this affair of theirs was going on for a long time, and every time he was away at work, he would go see her. He wanted to have both of us, but she decided she didn't want to be a mom and thus disrupted their plan. That Sunday, as expected, I got lots of calls and texts from his parents trying to make me make sense of the situation, trying to make it all seem normal and get me to take him back and all that BS. But I was just done. Nothing could ever make any of that look normal. He also came back the following Saturday wanting to talk and whatnot, saying things along the lines of, I gave you space to stop being angry and be reasonable, so I'm going to give you a chance to reconsider your options because once I leave, I won't come back, and as you see, I have another wife.
Well, there we go. Perfect.
And as you see, second wife.
And as you can see, I got second wife and second baby.
This is
So I'm
wild.
making you an offer you can't refuse.
Listen, like, people will call their partners like wives and husbands and stuff without being married. That's fine. That's whatever. This is such a weird vibe to be
Not
like,
married.
Like, yeah,
No one's
like
married
you're not
here.
married to the other thing to be like, well, I have another wife. Like, I don't know. There's some yuckiness on multiple.
Yeah, unless you guys got
Things here.
married somewhere in the story and just didn't let me know, then no one's married here.
This understandably made OP very mad. I called him all the names in the book, told him off on how horrible he is as a human being, and he's nothing but scum and doesn't deserve any more of my time. I told him to look around, find anything he ever bought, and take it with him. I made sure he collected everything with his name on it and kicked him out of my life for good. Tell me why later in the evening, my mom called me and told me his parents called them to talk to me. Turns out I was pretty presumptuous of my mom because during the week we had talked and she's been my rock through all of this. That's good.
Yay.
She even took my son for the week as I sorted through everything else. My mom tore them a new one. Good. They had wanted to get the families together to discuss how we should get back together, but both my parents shut that down fast. They told them how they gave them their daughter in good terms, but they failed to raise their son to be an honorable man, and how the disrespect for me is disrespect for them too. After he took his stuff, leaving the furniture and other things he couldn't carry, he mostly took his clothes and shoes and was petty enough to take a pair of shoes he had bought for me earlier this year. I sold them, every single one. It took a while, but I did. Man, if you want to experience the more crazy, confounding tales such as this, there are full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. You go ahead and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update, but do you have anything else to say
Get
other than just
out
this is
of
wacky?
there.
Yeah.
Leave and never turn back.
Yeah.
Block them all everywhere.
Let them live their terrible life together.
I hope they just hate their lives.
It's truly one of those things where like, this is terrible. I do sometimes look at this and go, well, thank God they're together. Thank God
Yeah.
the two worst people in this
Yeah,
story are
you
together
take 'em
so that
out.
they don't have to do this to anybody else.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay. OP says, I then moved and bought everything new. So now I'm living in this cozy, new, upgraded house. No stress from anyone or anything. I don't know what happened to that witch, but quite frankly, I don't care. Her betrayal was bad enough. I can't waste time thinking of someone who never gave a good thought about me. They really deserve each other, and the trash took itself out too. Also, the meeting with families happened, but it wasn't to get us together. It was for custody and whatnot. He still gets to be in our son's life, pay for everything, including future school fees and all that, and if he doesn't, his parents are to be held liable for all that. So it's safe to say I'm set up and comfortable where I'm at. Everything is going well. I'm happy and have peace. It's a happy ending to an otherwise crappy experience. Thank you all for your support through this crazy situation.
That is the end of that crazy story.
I refuse to support my father's upcoming wedding.
'Cause it sucked.
I, 21 female, have always had a rocky relationship with my father, 50 male. For some context, my parents got divorced when I was a young teenager. I don't want to get into the details, but there was infidelity on my dad's part, which is why my mom decided to leave. The divorce was really ugly, but my mom won the custody battle, and ever since, me and my younger sister, now 18 female, have been living with her. And
Go
as
mom.
a reminder, OP's
You
21.
won.
Cool.
Okay.
By the way, this comes from Absurd Ladybird, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, since we were living with my mom full time, he was supposed to pay child support. However, the state I live in also requires the parent to cover 1/3 of secondary education costs if the child decides to go to college. The idea is basically each parent and the child covers 1/3 of the total cost each. I happened to get into the top university of my choice, and not only that, I had gotten scholarships which covered the
Nice.
full cost of my tuition.
Oh.
Boom! Look at you go.
Look at Smarty Pants.
The only costs we had remaining were room and board, so it was determined that since I had more than covered my 1/3 of the cost, that my parents would be responsible for splitting half of the remaining costs.
Only fair.
Or this obviously caused some problems with my dad. The first year of college, I constantly had to remind him to pay. He was always paying late and sometimes not paying the full amount.
Uh-oh.
So I had to cover it out of my own pocket whenever he fell short. My second year, he suddenly stopped paying, which caused me to take out a student loan.
Oh,
Yikes, dude.
that's really yikes.
I'm currently in the middle of my 4th and last year of university, and I haven't seen a penny since he stopped. That incident, plus what happened during the divorce, has made our relationship rough. My sister still has a relationship with him, so I still try to keep things civil. I'm also really non-confrontational, so I have a hard time expressing myself to my dad. He will often text and tries to make an effort to hang out. However, it's been more than 6 months since I've seen him in person. Now, my dad has recently told me that he is getting remarried.
All right.
Okay? I'm not going to lie, I'm a little shocked since my dad is basically a man witch.
Which I'm assuming that meant man or
I thought it was something else.
Well,
What
did they
you
write
think it
man
was?
B? Because that doesn't really make sense.
I
But
think
man,
man
or
B,
would
yeah.
would make a little bit more sense.
A membitch.
Yeah.
A membitch.
Marriage.
I don't think we get censored for that.
Marriage.
Membitch.
if you say it fast enough, they can't censor
They
it.
can't. They won't pick it up.
Membitch.
At some point, I found out he was dating 3 different women all at the same time, but that's a whole other story.
I mean, he was dating multiple women when he was married to your mom, so it tracks.
Yikes,
Like-
dude.
You have to have a job and then also see 3 different women at the same time. How
I
do you get
genuinely
time?
don't
How do you have the
understand
time?
because I can barely find time to go on dates with one person.
Yeah, honestly.
Anyway,
but yeah, I don't get how these people do it.
I don't
It's
know.
impressive almost.
It is impressive.
Over the summer, my dad decided to move in with the new girlfriend after only dating her for 2 weeks. Questionable, but that's none of my business. Anyways, the girlfriend, let's call her Nicole, seemed quite young. Really young. It turns out Nicole is 26 years old.
NOP is 21.
Dad is 50.
That is wait. Let's do some math real quick. So what we're gonna do is
So-
we are going to
Do you not know what 50 minus 26 is?
divide 50 by 2.
Oh, he's
Now
doing
we're gonna
he's
add
doing
7.
what he's supposed to
Oh.
be dating.
32. 32.
That's not 32, my
Dang,
man. That's
that's-
26.
that's
That's concerning.
Quite a ways from 32.
5
Even-
years older than your
even if-
daughter.
Even if you were 32, Dad, then
Yeah.
26 would still be a little like.
I think that's in the realm. I think that's
Disagree.
It's getting there.
I personally, I feel like for me, it's like once
Yeah.
you turn 25,
Oh, really? 25 is the age?
like around 30. That's like when you
Yeah.
can date a 30-year-old.
Disagree.
Nah, you can date a 30-year-old whenever you want.
That's fair.
But that, like for me, I'd
Hey.
be
I
like,
Just
okay.
the number in my head was 27. That was popping
That's
up.
when
But
you-
I have thought, or like I've seen the
Yeah.
25 number before.
This is
but
my own personal.
That's fair.
Whatever,
that's fair.
you know, if you guys are dating 30-year-olds, that's your
Yeah,
own
get after him,
business.
guys. Get after him.
Go get your 30-year-olds.
Go for it.
Yeah,
But,
but
26
Angie,
and
if you were mommy and you were 32 and I was a 26 boy, you know,
yeah,
coming
would you
after
date
it.
Riley
If
if
I
he was
was what?
26 and you were a 32-year-old mother with 2 kids?
I don't know, man.
Come on,
and
look
you
at
had a
me.
bunch of subsidized
Well,
loans.
okay, if it was you, then sure.
Okay, what if Riley was 20 years old and you were 50?
No, boo.
Dude, honestly, 20-year-old me would be like, ah, I'd love it.
I don't know if you would at 20 years old.
You'd
I
be
don't
older
think
than
you
my
could
mom.
Handle it.
Ew.
We have just started this story. We are 1/7 away from
Okay, now we know what Riley would do. We don't know what Angie would do.
To put that in perspective, she's only 5 years older than me. I'm going to be honest, I'm really uncomfortable with their age gap. I know they're both consenting adults, but since we're close in age, it rubs me the wrong way. Flash forward to September, and my dad lost his job. And then him and Nicole suddenly decided to go on this big trip to visit her family in Georgia, which was strange because that is a little expensive for someone who just lost their job.
Yep.
They were gone for over a month.
That's a real big expense.
Yeah, especially also when you're supposed to be paying for my freaking college.
Yeah.
What's
You have all that money.
Where's it
and
coming from?
Doesn't seem like you're paying for anything for me.
Yeah, and you've all this time to tell me all about Nicole,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
but
And-
not enough time to pay me back. Questions started being raised on why they stayed there so long. Turns out Nicole was married and had to go back to Georgia to get a divorce from her husband.
What?
Yep.
What?
Wow.
He really knows how to
26.
pick them.
At 26.
That's okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry, just to make sure I got that correct.
Yep.
Oh.
26-year-old
Yep.
takes her new man
Yep.
back to where she lives to go divorce her current husband.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
that's
crazy.
Crazy, dude. I don't know all the details about her previous marriage, but I do know that she got married and that my dad knew that she was still married when they started dating. They got back from the trip and my dad and her officially announced their engagement sometime in November. I don't really know how to feel about the whole thing. They got engaged. So she's like, okay, we just gotta like, hey, I really love you. I love the idea of like marrying you, but like, really quick, I gotta like just like tie up some loose ends.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
like just take care of some stuff.
And
really,
he's like, "Oh, I'll come with you."
yeah.
Ooh.
It's like, sure.
Ooh, okay.
But
It's
like,
like
I have to do something alone.
it's like if it was Pirates of the Caribbean and
Yeah.
they were on the hunt for the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Except the Black Pearl is a divorce to your husband.
Yep, for sure, for sure. They have since then reached out several times asking me to come to the wedding. All throughout winter break, I've been thinking about it. They tried to invite me to a family game night, but I declined because they scheduled it on my mom's 50th birthday, which I think they did on purpose. Yes,
Absolutely, they
screw
did it on
you, dude,
purpose.
for real. They tried to ask me to come celebrate Christmas and got upset when I said that I wanted to spend Christmas morning with my mom. I heard them both talking bad about me over the phone with my sister because I didn't do Christmas with them. I don't want to get into it, but they basically called me a witch on the phone.
Yikes.
You get the idea. They basically say stuff to my face about wanting me to be there and sweet talking me. But then I hear them saying stuff behind my back. I was already unsure if I wanted to go, but now I'm sure I don't want to go. When I told my sister I wasn't going, she threw a fit and told me that I was being a bad daughter by not going and that I was just being petty. I told her I disagreed and that I would not be attending a wedding with people who disrespect me. Boom, there you go.
Yep.
They are having the wedding in January after less than 6 months of knowing each other.
And you know how long it's going to last? Less than 6 months.
No, it's
I
gonna last
agree.
till she finds another man, and then
That's
she's gonna have to
true.
divorce
And then she's
you.
going to bring her new man to go divorce OP's dad.
Yeah, because then he'll be too old at that time.
Yeah,
And then-
he's going to be 55.
51
Or-
even.
yeah. It's
And
not
he's-
going to last 5 years. He's gonna 51.
Yeah. We suspect the urgency may be due to the fact that my dad doesn't have health insurance anymore and she does. But who am I
That's
to
crazy.
speculate?
That's
awkward.
crazy.
He's gold digging.
Yeah, she's on her parents' health insurance. And
Yeah,
he's
he's-
like, hey.
Like, my back has been really bugging me recently.
And she's
really
like,
need
yeah,
to go
don't
get my
worry.
eyes checked. Like,
I've got PPO.
yeah. Anyways, the wedding is this upcoming weekend, and some of the family members are upset with me for not attending. I think I just need some perspective. Am I in the wrong here? And there is an update, but no.
What would you possibly be in the wrong for?
Yeah, no.
Not
OP.
going to your dad's wedding to this 20-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Is she going to be like, we could be like sisters?
Do they
Yeah.
know the full story like you do?
I don't
That's
know.
what
Probably
I
not.
want. I need to know that.
I
Yeah,
doubt
dude.
any of the family members are aware
Well-
that they've been like crap talking you.
yeah, true. I mean, they would have to piece some things together of like, okay, well, we knew that he was married in the first place, had these kids, and then now he's marrying a 26-year-old.
Dude, I'm sorry. If someone in my family was marrying a 26-year-old at 50, everyone would be talking about it.
Yeah.
Everyone would be talking.
Yeah, dude.
Gossip spreads around my family like the plague.
But yeah, no, that's so upsetting because I feel like the sister especially is probably uncomfortable with the situation herself. But the fact that like she's putting up with it and then OP is able to not put up with it and get away with it, she's like, you're allowed to, you can't do that. I have to struggle. You have to struggle with me. We're in this together.
Yeah.
Please. But no, you can get out of there too, sister. You don't have to go. But there is an update. So to start off, I did not end up going to my father's wedding. Instead, I stayed home and spent time having fun with friends and my mom. My sister was really upset at me for pulling out at last minute, even though I had made my intentions clear earlier. She posted pictures of the wedding on her Instagram story, which had some passive-aggressive comments in it about spending time with her real family. I admit that stung a little, but I brushed it off. Well, something happened after the wedding. This is context I left out of my original post because it wasn't relevant, but it has now become relevant. After my dad stopped paying for school, I had a long, hard thought about which family members have actually been there for me. My mom had been raising me as a single mom, and even though she couldn't financially help out a lot in college, she has been here for me every step of the way. My grandparents on my mom's side are so unbelievably supportive, and I probably wouldn't have been able to make it through college without them keeping me sane. My mom went back to her maiden name during the divorce to match grandparents' last name, while my sister and I kept my dad's last name. After the financial falling out with my dad, I decided to take my mom's last name. I don't see why I would want his last name on my bachelor's degree, since it was my mom and grandparents that supported me throughout high school and college.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I like that too. I completed the paperwork a little bit before Thanksgiving and have now finalized my name change.
Congrats. That's really cool.
Yeah, that is super
I think
cool.
your mom would I'm assuming your mom would really appreciate that.
Here's the thing. I was waiting to sit down and have an in-person conversation about my name change with my father. My sister also didn't know because I knew she would go behind my back and tell dad before I got the chance to, and I wanted to at least explain myself before the crap storm happened. I was waiting for a good time to do it, but between finals, Christmas, and his wedding, it didn't seem like a good time. Apparently, a couple days after the wedding, my sister found out about my name change. She did exactly what I thought she would do, and she immediately went and told my dad.
It's your sister's problem, man.
Yeah, even though she was explicitly told not to. After I explicitly asked you not to.
When I specifically asked you not to?
Come on. man.
When I confronted her about the situation, she basically gaslighted me, saying it was my fault for lying and that she had a right to my personal information because we're family.
Well, we don't have the same last name, so maybe we're not even family anymore.
Yeah, exactly. How could you even tell? How could you
Yeah,
even
yeah.
tell? Also, I think if you're talking about rights, I
Yeah.
think you can literally see that
say
you don't
anything.
have that right.
Yeah.
My guy.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to explain that I was waiting to talk to Dad about it first, but she wasn't really willing to listen to me. We haven't really been talking a lot recently, but honestly, that's fine by me because as of lately, she hasn't been the most supportive. Dad is pissed at me, which I knew was coming. My dad believes in traditional values. He thinks that he has a right to my last name because he is the head of the family.
He believes in traditional values, but got divorced.
Yeah.
Or sorry, cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
Got divorced. Was dating like 3 separate women.
At the same
Wasn't
time.
paying for his kid.
Yeah.
Left his kid basically, and is now married to a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Not very traditional.
Not the most traditional, my guy. He just wants the power. And
Honestly,
the
maybe
authority.
marrying the 26-year-old is the most traditional.
Yeah, right. But according to traditional values, wouldn't I be changing my last name if I got married anyway? What's the difference if I want to change my name to the one I want to use professionally? Apparently, he was so upset that he didn't even bother to contact me on my birthday.
Is that different than how it usually is?
Yeah, right. His new wife is pissed at me for starting drama after her wedding and is now going around to that side of the family and is talking crap about me with my sister. My grandma on my dad's side is also upset at me. On my birthday, I received a letter she sent me basically saying that she was disowning me.
Oh my god.
She has not really been in my life since the divorce.
That's so funny.
So it's like,
To be like have someone who's really not in your life be like, "Well, I'm disowning." It's like,
Yeah, it's
well,
like-
I didn't know we were close.
yeah. And she literally is like quitting before, like right after
Yeah.
she got fired.
Yeah.
Because OP was literally like, well, yeah, I'm disassociating myself with that side of the family. I don't have your last name anymore.
I don't
So
even know.
I
you-
disowned
yeah.
you, man. Like,
You
I
can't
did it
disown me.
first.
I disowned you first.
Yeah, we are not close, and she's actually such a boy mom and treated my mom so awful before and after the divorce. This is part of the reason that we don't talk. And I hope that you will always talk to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And you'll hear full episodes with more stories just like this one. There is a little bit more to this story, but yeah, what are our thoughts after all of this wackadoodle?
I mean, honestly, I feel like distancing yourself from your dad, which is already kind of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And just, I think OP said it in a way I liked of, I'm seeing who in my family actually is there for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, taking stock of those people and then keeping those ties, close to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like at first I was thinking, oh, maybe the sister's just kind of jealous that OP's like, actually standing up for herself and like not associating with the drama. But then I remembered that like the OP heard them all crap talking because they were on the phone with the
Yeah.
sister. So the sister is just as bad.
I think the sister's 18. She's
Mhm.
also lived her whole life basically with her mom. I honestly think it's a bit of like she really wants a relationship with her dad and is willing to
Yeah.
do kind of anything to get it. And if that means throwing OP under the bus, so be it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which sucks.
I can see that.
But yeah, maybe in time she'll realize that your dad actually doesn't really care for either of you, no
Yeah.
matter how hard she tries. So
Mhm. Yeah, because maybe once OP has like removed herself from the picture, maybe they won't have like enough leverage to like make fun of her for.
yeah.
And then they'll start kind of making fun
start
of the
to do it.
sister.
Yeah.
And then she'll understand that they're not
Ooh,
great.
these people suck.
But there is a little bit more to the story. So even though the letter was rude, I low-key found it kind of funny. She wasted nice stationery and postage to send me such a nasty letter. She basically just wants to stir up drama. And that's exactly what that family wants. Drama. So I decided not to give them that satisfaction. I'm going no contact with my dad, his new wife, and my grandma. After everything that's happened, they have shown me that they don't value our relationship. I'm leaving the door open for my sister to contact me, but I'm not holding my breath. I think she needs to learn to respect that I just don't want a relationship with my dad. I'm glad that I'm cutting people out of my life that don't value me because honestly, it gives me more time to focus on the people that do. I'm going to be graduating this spring and I can't wait to celebrate my degree with my chosen last name on it. And that's the end of that story. Yeah, good on you. That is honestly good timing to change your last name.
I agree.
Yeah. I knew someone one time that was like their parents, the mom got like a nursing degree or her PhD or something, and she didn't change her name when she got married because she's like, well, he didn't have the degree. It's not Dr. him, you know, it's Dr. me. You know what I mean? So I support it.
Yeah.
Good job.
My mom didn't change her name, but growing up, people would always just kind of assume.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, she was called Mrs. Donner a lot.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
She's not.
Yeah.
Oh, look at her.
Mm-hmm.
Go
McFadden.
her. What is it?
McFadden.
McFadden.
It's a Scottish.
It sounds very Scottish. You can't say it without a Scottish accent. McFadden. It's like how you're going to get into your Scottish accent is by saying that first.
McFadden.
McFadden.
Yeah.
That's great. But yeah, that's the end of that story. I think, yeah, screw them. They never treated you right. You
Screw
don't
'em.
need them in your life.
Yeah, I agree. And folks, that's the end of that story. And we got one more in this episode.
My friend caused problems at my wedding, so I blocked her.
Stop. You're no longer associating with me.
I, 30 female, married the love of my life, 30 male, last year, but our wedding continues to be talked about by all the guests because of one group of girls. I met these girls as part of an online community about 6 years ago, and we used to be very close. One of them, Trisha, 35 female, has a tendency to bully others or joke in really nasty ways. By the way, this comes from Fisherman Dazzling 429 on the r/Charlotte Dobrave YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And OP says, think constantly judging those around her quite loudly, aggressively questioning people, playing the victim when you set boundaries, getting super angry if she feels you haven't told her something. Her rude behavior has meant I've distanced myself over the past couple of years, particularly as I seem to become her new target. This came to a head one day when she mocked my PCOS and excess hair growth, then tried to pluck hair from my face without warning at the dinner table. I snapped, shouted right back, and asked her, who gave you the right to touch me? I still love the other girls, Kimberly, 30 female, and Stacy, 28 female, but they always want to meet up as a whole group, so I struggle to avoid Trisha. They put up with her behavior, and I'm starting to think this makes them just as bad. I did not ask any of these girls to be my bridesmaids for the above reasons. Plus, I already had a wonderful group of women to fill these positions. I think this may have offended them, but they never said anything directly. They asked me what colors to avoid for their dresses. I was in white, bridesmaids in baby pink, groom in navy blue, groomsmen in baby blue. So I told them to avoid these colors. Come to the wedding day, and one of my bridesmaids comes up to inform me that these girls had all arrived wearing navy blue floor-length bridesmaids dresses in almost the exact same style as my bridesmaids' baby pink ones. I was gobsmacked. I knew there was nothing I could do, as confronting them would be what everyone spoke about at my wedding. And this is when you have someone there assigned to just be like, get out.
Yeah, you need to have a problem solver.
I like, they call it like maids of chaos or something.
Maids
Or
of
maids
chaos?
of dishonor. I think it's maids of dishonor. Like if you're maid of honor and you're maid of dishonor, and the maid of dishonor is just there to take care of chaos.
Just there to say, you leave now.
Instead, my bridesmaids went and spoke to their partners and parents who were also at the wedding, and their group started calling them the fake bridesmaids, which I found hilarious. The ceremony went really well, but Trisha was very loudly crying at the back and trying to take photos the whole time. We had a big sign and announcement about no photos during the wedding, as we had hired professionals. She posted some to her Instagram story before we'd even ended our ceremony. I only found this out the next day when I turned my phone on. We had a list of posed family photos to appease the elder generations. As I walked up to the bar after photographs to talk to my sister, Trisha dragged my photographer by her sleeve while shouting at me that we didn't get a group photo. I was mortified and told her to let go of my photographer and apologize.
Yo, like, who is Trisha
That's
to not
insane.
understand physical boundaries and personal space as a full-blown adult? What are you, a little toddler?
She's the oldest of the group, too.
Yeah.
She's 35.
She's the
She's done this
oldest.
to OP's face and to her photographer's arm now.
She's going, Mom, we need a group photo, Mom.
Why didn't you take my picture?
Mom, you messed up, Mom. We need a group photo.
We purposely look like fake bridesmaids. Why didn't you take our photo?
Yeah, and that's when you need to cold water her, and you'd be like, because you're
cold
being
water.
cringe with your fake bridesmaid dresses. You think no one notices this? We all notice.
We've been laughing about you. Trisha said I should be apologizing because I excluded them from photographs. The photographer said it was fine, and we quickly snapped a photo. Trisha immediately asked to see it, which the photographer explained she wouldn't show any photos until she sent me the previews 48 hours after the wedding. I don't know what that noise was, guys. It's Jeff's back. Trisha loudly stormed off, calling out to her boyfriend to get her a drink because she was stressed by this wedding drama. You need to know this for context. Our wedding favors were little animals I had crocheted over 2 years.
No way.
With themes and colors I associated with each person.
So thoughtful. What?
Oh my god.
The best.
These were really personal and took enormous effort to make. During food and speeches, I was informed by wait staff that Trisha had been talking over the speeches consistently. And one of my guests told her to shut the F up. By this point, Trisha was quite wasted and had been cut off from the bar. One of my friends, Tom, witnessed Trisha taking 2 extra glasses of Prosecco off another table where guests were unable to attend last minute.
Where's your bouncer, though? Like, this
That's
is
what
where
I'm
you go,
saying.
get her out.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you
get
you
a
drank
maid
too
of
much.
dishonor. Hey.
Hey, I got a bottle outside. You want to have
Hey,
some?
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle. Follow the keys.
Jingle. Oh, jingle,
Follow-
jingle.
follow. After the first dance, my uncle nervously asked why he and his fiance didn't receive wedding favors. I was surprised because I had set up all the tables and had my maid of honor check everything before guests entered.
I swear to God, if Trisha stole the little crochet
I'm about
animals,
to be so mad.
oh my God.
Throughout the night, I had other people mention they didn't get favors. It became apparent someone had gone into the room and taken them after my maid of honor checked. I checked with venue staff who confirmed they didn't move or touch anything and had no security footage. At every opportunity, Trisha tried to barge into conversations I was having. She also tapped me on the shoulder during our end of night dance with my husband so I could turn around for a selfie. I was emotionally drained. I didn't turn around and waited for my sister to walk up. My sister started shouting at her. How dare she interrupt me and my husband? Turns out, because Trisha was talking over speeches, she'd missed the bit about my sister and had no clue this woman shouting at her was my sister. Trisha shouted back, "Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? I'm her best friend. Who the F are you?" Is this girl really your best friend if you don't know her sister?
Honestly, like, I'm disappointed in just all of you for having not removed her earlier. I'm sorry. You're not an a-hole for that, but like,
Maybe to yourself.
honestly, yeah, because at this point, after she was so drunk that she had to be cut off from the bar, she should have been escorted out. She should have been taken out.
And she's there with her partner and her family. Like, why are they not being like, calm down?
Straight up, like, something needed to be done. And yeah, I don't know.
The look on Trisha's face when my brother-in-law explained who they were was priceless. Trisha immediately burst into tears, saying it was horrible how we all embarrassed her and that she should be introduced to everyone immediately. Fast forward 48 hours and Tom asks to pop round for a chat. When he arrives, Tom explains that my maid of honor was messaging everyone about wedding favors being stolen. Upon receiving this message, Tom realized he had witnessed what happened. Trisha was walking around while everyone was taking their seats, picking up wedding favors and putting them in a bag that looked like it came from your wedding. Tom assumed I had instructed this as a task. Only now did he realize this wasn't the case and they weren't my bridesmaids. I started crying. It felt like a new low for Trisha's behavior, and I knew I needed to cut her off.
No, I know what you need to do is get those little crochet animals back.
Step 1, animal crochets back. Step 2, never talk to her again.
Step 3, push her into Mount Doom.
Step 4, forget about it. I waited a couple months until we had an event together, then played innocent but mentioned how I couldn't believe someone stole my hours of hard work. The girls were giving each other shifty looks. Trisha acted shocked and said, "This wouldn't have happened if I was maid of honor. I would have had better control." Saying a lot coming from someone who was gone the whole night.
Belligerently wasted.
I knew if I outright accused her, she would manipulate the situation. So I started to tear up, explaining that anyone who could do that is not only no friend of mine, but a cold-hearted a-hole. Tom had bought a ticket to this event as part of our plan. After initial greetings, he mentioned the text from my maid of honor and said he was surprised to hear favors were stolen, particularly as Trisha had been tidying them up for me before we sat down for food. Trisha's mouth was hitting the floor as Tom asked, "Isn't that right, girls?" Trisha immediately claimed she had nothing to do with it and was just socializing. I then said I'd get my answer once I got security footage back from the venue, knowing there wasn't any. Trisha then admitted to taking 2 favors from the table next to her, where she noticed 2 people hadn't attended. I started screaming at her about how she should have asked me. It was inappropriate to assume, and I needed them back. She told me I needed to learn how to calm down, as this wasn't appropriate communication. No, but the lying was?
Bro, you literally just lied through your teeth at her, and now you're saying she's communicating inappropriately? Go back to whatever moon you came from, you little creature.
I ignored this and said I needed those favors back by next weekend. Not even 24 hours later, 2 wedding favors were left outside my house, but they weren't the ones for the unattending couple. I took to Facebook and posted a screenshot of my layout detailing which favor went with which person, along with the 2 favors returned by Trisha. I thanked her for returning these, but noted they were the wrong ones. I called Trisha out for taking more, explaining she admitted taking 2 from that couple, but these clearly weren't those favors. Stacy called and apologized for not saying anything in front of Trisha, but she wasn't willing to feel her wrath. She said she had 1 extra that Trisha had given her and would return it immediately. She explained she and Kimberly wanted to take me out for drinks to apologize properly. I don't blame them for not telling me, but I consider this behavior just as bad as the stealing. Trisha responded on Facebook, saying this should have been communicated privately and she only took favors from people who left them behind after food, as they clearly didn't appreciate them. My family called her out. Trisha removed her comments and sent me a gift with an apology card. That gift wasn't that box of those crocheted animals. I don't want to hear it. I still don't want to hear it if it is.
I've never been so mad over crochet animals.
Right? I still haven't received any other favors back from her. By the way, do me a favor, guys, and go listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, favorite podcast app, search OK Storytime. We've got a little bit more. I know you're stewing over there.
I'm pulling up. This is like, I've done this one other time. I've done this once in my life, where I just pulled up and I refused to leave until I got it back. And it was a hoodie that some girl took from me. It was like one of my favorite ones. And we just whatever. And she was like, "I'm gonna keep this," and I was like, "No, you're not." And then like we kind of stopped talking, and she still had it. And I texted her a couple times. Like first I was like, "Hey, I need that hoodie back for like a photo shoot. Like I need that back." No response. "Hey, I need that back." No response. I just rocked up to her place and I went knock 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 until she answered, and I said, "I need that back now." And you know who got their hoodie back? This guy.
That is one way to do it for sure.
I would rock up to her house and be like, I'm not going anywhere until you give those back to me, like right now, or until you tell me where they are. And then, and then you can just lie to her, be like, and then we'll be best friends again.
That's
oh
all
my God.
I need to be best friends again.
I just love you so much.
And then you never talk to her again.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I'm on that train for sure. Since then, I haven't had real conversations with this group. I heard through the grapevine that Trisha was discussing how I looked at my wedding with other guests, saying I'd clearly done a standard job shaving my beard, and it was a shame I still had fat on my back. The other 2 girls were telling her to stop as it was rude. So Reddit, do I meet up with the girls for the apology drink? Do I walk away from the whole thing? Do I try communicating with Trisha about the rest of the favors? Edit, their group photo plus any candidates Trisha was in were the only photos not added to the Google Share Drive for guests. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, don't be sorry. I would go just for trying to get more information about the crochet animals.
I just want the crocheted animals back.
Yeah, you go. Maybe you accept their apology, maybe not. Either way, I'm distancing myself.
We're not accepting Trisha's,
I'm distancing myself from anyone who willingly is friends with Trisha.
Yeah.
If they like, take you out for drinks and they're like, yeah, we're just trying to figure out how to get rid of her. That's one thing. But like, get those crochet animals back, girl.
Look it. We got so many right here. I would be so sad. Wrong camera. There we go. Imagine these little guys.
Come on, dude.
Stolen away from their little worm home.
And just like not even like, and she's just such a little cretin. Being like, yeah, oh, I only stole 2 from the people who weren't here, which is also a lie. And then it's just
She just keeps
so
getting
dumb.
caught and then keeps lying.
Yeah.
And then gets caught again. It's terrible.
If she was the ring from Lord of the Rings, I would cast her into the fire. Only if she were the ring. Would never do that to a person. So that's
Okay.
not a call for violence.
Yeah.
And honestly, if we get banned for that, whatever platform bans us is pro Sauron, pro Mordor. Have fun with that.
But that's the end of that story.
Yeah. My fiance gambled my grandmother's wedding ring.
Did he double his money?
Oh, this is from the OK Storytime subreddit. It's one of you. I'm so sorry. Oh God. I, 24 female, have been with my boyfriend, now fiance, 26 male, for 3 years.
Yay.
He's wonderful in a lot of ways. Kind, attentive, makes me laugh.
Great with money.
We've been talking about marriage, seriously. And I knew a proposal was coming because my mom accidentally let it slip that he asked her about my grandmother's ring.
Dude, this is actually a good way to gamble. I didn't even think about this.
Explain yourself.
Okay, I go to Angie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, getting pretty serious about your daughter. Do you guys like have like a ring in your family that you guys pass down?
This is truly the best way to gamble. The long con, you get in a long-term relationship with somebody to the point where you make their
Dude,
family
look.
think you're serious about marriage. You steal their heirloom ring.
No.
And turn it into
You didn't even hear my
2
plan.
heirloom rings.
Okay, now you're getting to the end of my plan. You pawn it, knowing like you can buy it back.
Oh, okay.
And then you go, if it's a lock, you have to make sure it's a lock. Lock, double your money, and you can get 2 heirloom rings.
Right.
What's better than 1? 2.
And then you take those 2 heirloom rings.
Oh,
pawn both of
now
those.
we're cooking.
Now you got 4 rings. You do that enough, you can start your own ring shop. It's
Red
a
flag.
family heirloom, a delicate Art Deco diamond band that has been passed down for 3 generations. My mom gave it to him to hold on to until he proposed. By the way, this comes from user awareissue2239, so at least you're aware of the issue. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley, the one that can't read.
I am wearing glasses.
I'm
Too
too hot.
hot.
But I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. And OP says, fast forward to last weekend in July. He goes out with his buddies for poker night. Nothing unusual. Oh my God, he gambled it at just a poker game?
Dude, he's practicing.
Stop.
He's practicing.
Oh no. But he came home late, and I noticed something shiny in his pocket when he threw his jeans in the hamper. I pulled it out, and to my absolute shock, it was my grandmother's ring.
Yeah, he's probably waiting to propose.
I confronted him right there. Because what are you doing just carrying around the heirloom ring? That's crazy.
Time out.
It's in his pocket.
Where else is it supposed to be?
Is somewhere safe?
But if you have the ring, you're waiting for... If I'm buying a ring, I'm keeping it in my pocket until it's not my
No,
pocket
that's crazy.
anymore.
That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
It's not an EDC? Everyday carry?
No. That should stay in a
I just-
safe
I-
place
I
until you
disagree.
know you're proposing.
What if I'm like...
Because also,
What
just goes, you're just going to, I feel like I'm going to propose right now. I guess I'll propose.
That's how it happens.
That's not how it happens. It's something you should plan. You're not going to bait me. So, and he admitted he's been bringing it to poker nights for luck. He said it started as a joke. His friend called it the engagement talisman, but then he swore it actually helped him win. He promised he never bet it, just kept it in his pocket. We were able to work it out over a few weeks, and he promised he wouldn't do it again. He even stopped going to poker weekly and now only goes once a month. About a month or so after this, he finally proposed with my grandmother's ring, and I said yes. Okay.
Oh, you didn't drop
Okay.
him?
Okay.
I bet you he still wants to ring on Thursday nights, though.
Then came our engagement party.
Oh, boy.
He's gonna gamble it after he's proposed.
We are celebrating everything's perfect until one of his friends makes a joke about how my fiance almost had to propose with a Cracker Jack ring, and I froze.
What?
When I pressed him later, my fiance admitted that months ago he actually did gamble the ring and lost it. He only got it back after weeks of playing until he won it back.
Whoa, what? What do you call the people that play pool to get money and they like, what do you call that?
A hustler?
Yeah, he had a hustle for they're getting the ring back.
Okay, I'm going to say this, Keon. If this is the boys poker night and someone gambles the engagement ring and loses it, we are not taking that. We are immediately giving him the most crap he has ever had in his life.
I'm giving you 3 warnings. I'm telling you, you get 3 strikes. If you keep putting it on the table saying, I want to keep going,
I'm
taking that ring.
3 strikes and then you're what? I mean,
And then you're engaged to Keon.
and then you, I'm gonna need $1,000. I'm gonna need something. You're gonna have to win it back fair and square.
I don't know. You're messing up. The fact that I've warned you 3 times to not put that ring on the table, and I'm your friend and I love you, and you say I gotta keep going. I gotta chase. I'm like, you had a problem, brother, but let's play this game.
I would like to think your friends would never let you actually lose that ring forever.
And I don't want the gambling
But
ring.
I don't like that the heirloom ring was just with another person who's not related to it that could have also lost it because they're carrying it around in their pocket.
Who is he gambling with that he has to gamble an heirloom
Well,
ring?
that's what I'm saying. I think no one there probably even realizes the value of it. But
Probably
anyway, okay. So not only did he risk my grandmother's heirloom, but he lied to me when I confronted him. He let me believe we had worked through it when really he was hiding the worst part of the story the entire time. Now I feel like the proposal itself is tainted because all I can think about is how that ring was sitting on someone else's poker table. And by the way, you can listen to us at your poker table by going to your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime. And you can listen to more stories like this one.
This is why we don't keep engagement rings in our pockets, Riley. Silly says. Now, this gives me another reason.
My
to carry it around.
read on this is that this was a bit that went out of control and got out of hand. Nobody in the group should have
entertained it.
should have entertained this. No one should have been taking the ring. I don't know. I'm sure that if the ring was at some point, the ring would have been gotten back. Whoever had that ring, I think the biggest thing is the disrespect of allowing it to even leave your person. But whoever had that ring, if he went in and goes like, I'm proposing to her, like I need that ring back, I'm sure they would have given it back. But I think it's more now at this point the principle of you were lied to and you were deceived, and that he would even do something to treat the ring with such flippancy. I think, yeah, it's like, well, now the whole proposal's tainted because it's like, what if you wanted to propose before you couldn't because you had to get it back? And also you're treating it like it's just like a poker chip, which then how much does it really mean to you that you're proposing to me with this ring if you were willing to gamble it? So yeah, it does really mess a lot of stuff up. It does complicate things.
He put that in his pocket knowing he was putting that on the table. There's no way he didn't.
I would give him an ultimatum: no more gambling, or we're done. And then I'd also talk to all of his friends. If you guys tell me he's gambling, I'll give you $50 on the spot, and $100 if you can tell me before we get married.
And $1,000.
Anyway, we have a little bit more story left. Obi says, right now I've gone to stay with my mom for a bit. I gave her the ring back because I don't feel comfortable wearing it anymore. And I told my fiance that if he still wants to marry me, he needs to propose again with a different ring or it's over. He says I'm being dramatic and ruining a good thing over one mistake. Nah, but I can't shake the feeling that this was more than just a mistake. It was reckless, disrespectful, and dishonest. So, am I overreacting by making him get a different ring, or is this a fair boundary after what he did? Yeah, no, I think that is fair. It's exactly like I said. It's like it makes you think to propose to me with this ring that was supposed to be so meaningful, but you literally lost it at a boys' night poker game. Like, clearly you didn't give two shits about the ring. So I think, yeah. And now, if you want it, guess what? Go out and use that poker money that you're winning to go buy me another ring.
Hustle.
There you go. But that is the end of that story, and we have some comments to read. Okay, these comments are from the video I discovered my girlfriend's dark secret, and that was posted on September 30th, 2025. The TLDR is OP, 30 male, was ready to propose to his girlfriend, 28 female, when he got a shocking Facebook message. She had been married before and had a son who had tragically passed away, something she had never told him. OP felt betrayed, but when she finally opened up about her past, he saw how much pain she had been carrying. Now OP has to decide if he can move forward and marry the woman he loves, knowing the heartbreaking secret she kept hidden. And if you're curious to know how the full story goes, you can watch it on YouTube.
I'm going to go watch it because I don't know the heartbreaking secret.
I do. I remember this story, and it was very intense.
Oh, like a Seinfeld episode? Or
More intense than Seinfeld. All right, let's get these comments read.
Okay, we got some comments. Nana P827 says she was wanting a fresh start from the pain in her past. Her personality that you love is part of her hurt that formed her who she is today. You can bring up what you know from that phone call and tell her you love her and you're here for her. And if she wants to talk, you're there for her when she's ready.
Yeah, that's smart.
Sounds good.
I would definitely do that because that's in the past, and you're going to have to work on how to move forward with her during this. So if you are ready to do that kind of work with her, go for it.
Cool. Yellow Daisy Sunshine 2048 says, OMG, it's not even 7 a.m. I'm putting my kids on the bus, enjoying the morning on the front porch, and this. I have literally cried. Why? I can only imagine that poor woman's heartbreak. When OP said she couldn't stand to look at Sam's brother because he looked so much like him, my heart broke for her.
Yeah,
Man, life is so hard. Be kind, y'all. You never know what someone's facing.
You never, ever know.
That's the thing. It's like there were so many assumptions about like why this was kept hidden and all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And like it's like you never want to really jump to conclusions.
Okay, and the last comment is DJXXY. I don't have to find out anything like that from someone is going to be my partner. I understand about the kid part, but imagine after 22-fold marriage and he finds out she was married before. WTF. If you think I'm wrong, imagine if you, the one, find that information after 20 years of marriage.
That is a lot to digest, actually. I would hope that whoever I'm with wouldn't mind telling me the truth. And even if it is heartbreaking, they just, I trust you fully. And that's a big part of your past. And I think it's a big part of who we are. Not like super big, but like,
What if it's a truth you can't handle?
You can't handle the truth.
Doesn't matter if I can handle it or not. You got to tell me that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But that's the end of those comments. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow.
My fiance's ideal woman is not me.
Time to move on.
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I, 35 female, have been engaged to my fiance, 31 male, for over a year now after dating for a year. He proposed on our 1-year anniversary, and our wedding is planned for next spring.
Yay!
For context, we are both a bit on the traditional and conservative side and willingly live our lives that way. By the way, this comes from What the F is Life 25, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we made a new friend earlier in the week at our church, John, age 30, who just moved into town. He's married, no kids, but his wife will be moving into town with him next month since her job contract doesn't end for a few more weeks.
Don't believe him? Let's see some proof. Let's call her.
Call her
Get
up.
on a FaceTime.
Earlier in the day, yesterday, I mentioned that it's kind of cool that John's wife is also 4 years older than him. To which my fiance responded, yeah, that is interesting. I mean, my ideal woman would be in her early 20s.
Sarcastically, he said, right?
Why did he say that?
Saying ha ha hee hee, right? That was a funny joke, huh?
I'm sorry, if I was like, it's kind of crazy that someone has the exact same, these new friends have the exact same age gap as us. And then my partner went, yeah,
Slams
I
dunk.
wouldn't want to have it if I had my way.
Oh my gosh.
I would want someone younger than you.
Man, if Keon and I had it our way, we'd have 9-foot women who are blue and have little tails.
I thought we were going to keep that a secret.
I looked at him funny and asked, like when you were younger, or you mean right now, currently at the age you are? He responded, no, I mean right now. I'm 31. Ideally, I should be with a woman in her 20s.
Oh God, he's doubling down.
That's when women are at their prime. Especially since I want to have many children and a big family, and I'm at my prime right now.
No, you were at your prime at 23, and you broke your ankle, and you could have made it to the NFL. That's what I would tell him.
I was stunned. I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. I'd be like,
He's had that in his back pocket. It low key.
Chilibus says men are never at their prime.
Ouch. It's like
Wow.
hitting. It's like, oh no, a bicycle's about to hit me coming down the hill, and it's a truck full of bricks.
Yeah. OP's like, wait, I'm going to give you a chance to get out of that. And he said, no, I don't want to take that exit. I'm going to keep driving. We've had conversations like this before, but it's always general discussion about statistics or trends. Never specifically about us or our individual wants, needs, or preferences. I remained quiet the rest of the day. I didn't want my emotions to control the situation, so I stayed silent to give my mind time to process everything. The next morning, I guess he could sense a difference in my demeanor. He kept asking me what was wrong. I finally gave in and calmly said, so you would ideally like to be with a woman in her 20s because that's when they're at their prime for raising a large family and you're currently at your prime, so what's stopping you?
And he says, whoa, girl.
Yeah, he says,
Ooh.
oh.
Calm down.
It was a
You want a carrot?
joke.
You want a carrot?
You are
Easy, girl, easy.
overreacting.
He looked genuinely confused. I continued, we're not married yet. We're not legally tied down to each other. Why are you with me? I never lied to you about my age. You knew how old I was when we met. You knew I wanted to have children. You knew there could be a possibility that having children could be a difficult situation for me. You're 30. You're fine. Yet you chose to continue dating me. You chose to continue a relationship with me, and then you chose to propose to me a year into our relationship. Why? If you're at your prime and I'm not your ideal woman, why are you with me? Why do you want to marry me?
So I could just settle down.
I don't know, because you
said yes to
seem-
me.
You seem nice. I already asked a couple other 20-year-olds,
They all said no.
and they said, no, I'm the prime of my life. I don't want to settle down and have a kid and
Yeah.
get married.
See, that's the thing. Is as soon as he becomes single, he's gonna go for a 20-year-old. It's not gonna happen.
None of them are going to want to have well, not, I mean, some probably will, but probably not the ones he finds. Drop this guy. Don't marry him. Do not marry this guy. By the way, you should marry into our family. By listening to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Say I do. Okay,
Say I
story.
do to us. But there is a little bit left to this story. Honestly, I didn't know how to feel about his response. He said, well, women like you are hard to find here. There aren't many younger women who are traditional and conservative like you. And your years of baby making aren't over. You're only 35. You still have time. The possibility of us having children together is still there. Maybe not at your prime anymore, but nowhere near impossible.
He really just doesn't get
He is
it.
digging his grave.
The TLDR version of this is him being like, you're a 6 out of 10. I could be with a 10 out of 10. And then he doubles down and says, you're more like a 6.5 out of 10.
He's like, I guess you're like, I don't know, best of 7?
Very mid.
I didn't know how to respond. I simply said, I feel like you're settling, and a man in his prime shouldn't have to settle. He got audibly upset and responded, well, you can leave then if that's what you want. That was all this morning while we were both getting ready for work. Now I'm sitting in my office with my head spinning on what the F just happened. And folks, that's the end of that story. Seems like OP broke up with him.
I hope
And
so.
honestly, thank goodness. I think you just leave this guy. He clearly is showing who he is, which often happens when you haven't been together that long. Less
year.
than 2 years.
Yeah. Right at a year.
I think it was a little bit over a year now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, around, because he proposed after a year.
Got it.
Okay, wait. I did find a comment. It's from a comment. Pretty much everyone just saying, "Don't marry this guy," and like this guy sucks. And OP responds with, "I've read and reread your comments so many times, my eyes hurt. But you make so much sense, and you're absolutely right. He doesn't want to be a husband and a father. He just likes the idea of having a wife and children to provide for.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Because it makes him look much better as a man who can provide for a family.
So-
Absolutely.
This is the energy of I want to have a wife and kids, not I want to be a father and have children, or I
No,
want to be
no,
a
it's-
husband and have children.
I want to have a wife and kids. I don't care who that is. Like
Well, I
it
think-
doesn't matter. It's not I want to have a wife and kids with you, or I want you to be my wife and I want to have kids with you. It's,
yeah.
It's I just want a wife and kids.
What I'm talking about is the mentality of I want a wife and kids, not I want to take the responsibility of being a husband. I want to take the responsibility of being a father.
Yeah, I agree. Because this is the end of the episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe
We love you.
and
See you
you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.